What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Well, first off, happy holidays. I hope that you enjoyed your Christmas, the 25th. You know, did you have a good 25th, man?
24th and 25th were good to
It's
me.
pretty solid, bro.
26th, the day after Christmas. Is that Boxing Day? Is that a Canadian holiday? Tough one.
Well, feeling Boxing Day too much. Yeah. I can feel you on that.
Are we still in the midst of holidays though? Because we got New Year's coming up.
Yeah, we're still hot. We got the tree up. We still festive. We got a couple more days, you know.
Yeah, I think you keep
Couple
it
more
up
days.
till after New Year's at least.
Whew. Yeah. It was an interesting, holiday experience for us though, man. 24th and 25th were really good. I really enjoyed it as well. The fam had a good time. Got to see some folks, man. It was good. It was a good situation.
What'd you get for Christmas?
Me?
Yeah.
I got to see my kids extremely happy for Christmas and wifey. That's my whole thing. I'm a giver.
That's the true meaning of Christmas, huh?
No, not at all. I did it so I could feel good about myself. Yeah, what you talking about? True meaning of Christmas. Yeah. I was solely giving gifts so I could feel good. When they say, Dad, Santa brought this. We're like, yeah. That's the only reason why I do what I do. Yeah.
That's very nice of you.
It's the least I can do, man. What about you, man? Are you a do it for the kids and for the family guy? You would do it for yourself type of guy?
Yeah, I don't buy presents.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Do it for yourself.
I do not buy presents.
Come on, man.
I don't know when that will change. Maybe when I hit big or something. But I feel pretty bad because my sister's boyfriend, they've been together less than a year.
Okay.
He bought the whole family presents, man. The whole family. He got me some good stuff too. Like I felt bad because I even told him like, bro, I just don't really get anything usually. My aunt got me that nice little long sleeve I was wearing, the
right.
ACC champion. Parents gave me some money, so it's always low key Christmas, but I'm always thankful. It's just more about for me being around family, having some fun. We played NFL Street on Christmas Eve because there was no sports. That's like kind of a classic. Yeah, we brought that tradition back, and Santa sent me a cheese pack.
Oh, he sent you the cheese pack. Was it colored or not?
No, it looked like the logo. Yeah.
Man, bright red and everything. Had the red. Oh man. Fair enough.
And you know what? Since I was in the Christmas spirit, so I had to tote that thing up on the 25th.
What happened?
I guess I went a little too early.
Well, you know how we do. We're going to get into this thing, man. I done got hot in here, Lord. But what we're going to do, man, we're going to start the show off like we always do. Let us know where you are tuning in from, and we will get that going. So put it in the chat, and we will shout you out.
You want me to read some of the super chats real quick?
Yeah. Let's while everybody's getting where they're checking in from. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Alan T. He says, the Chiefs are chiefing on that Ben pack. Mason's definitely not the answer, but immediately showed the difference a QB with the slightest ounce of mobility makes. I hope Aaron Russell or Deshaun save us.
I like it. And I did see, I think Jacob Melissa said you're a little low.
Oh, okay.
Check your audio a little bit, man.
How we sounding now? We got Black Lavender. Everyone is so quick to blame Mike Tomlin, but also lick his meat when the Steelers are winning. Don't switch up when he's in the Hall of Fame. Keep the energy. I said the same thing for my QB comparisons.
Oh, we'll talk about. We'll get to it.
Alan T. He's got a lot to get off his chest today.
Uh-oh.
He says, we are so predictable. The opposing team always kicks it to us because they know we won't score first.
Yeah, so we go roast today. It's a roast session. All right, roasted toast.
We always have stupid penalties. Yeah, that's for sure. And when it's third and forever, it's a dump off pass to Najee and a prayer.
Yep, that sounds about right. And then we also have Jamie Carlo. Jamie Carlo, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Oh,
they say volume's good.
Yeah, volume look like it's good. So yeah, we will be straight. So I'll start reading off these first couples, and then you'll go from there. All right, we got Knight Rider 16. You know the homie Knight Rider 16. Tuning in from the 318 Minden, Louisiana. Shout out to that. You got Daryl. I think this is Slike Daryl Slike, the 757, Hampton, VA, Carib. Let's go. Let's go. We got Brent Fox, the 214, for show, Dallas, Texas. And we can't forget John Ziegler, the 717, and then NSMC99, tuning in from the 724. Let's go.
We got DJ, Trey Money, 606, Kentucky. Jalen Johnson, 803, Columbia, South Carolina.
I like it.
Hannibal 090, checking in from the 770, Snellville, Georgia. This one hurts. Please don't tell me this is true. I mean, it might be.
What happened?
Luke Walker says Mason was the last Steelers QB to score a touchdown in the first half. Is at the Lions game, that first drive.
Wow.
Don't tell me that.
Oh, wow. Oh.
The King Herc from Dayton, Ohio.
Okay, shout out to Dayton.
Dale Coons Jr. Just goes to show how important Juju was being our slot receiver. Ray is not cutting it. Also saying he's tuning in from Lancaster, PA.
I like it. We got G. Alexander tuning in from the 804 Richmond. Sequoia Harris tuning in from the 718 Bronx, New York. Let's go, Bronx in the building. Then we also have, I'm going to butcher your name, but I'm going to say it anyways, Adonis Meets Christ. Think I said that right?
I think
the
you're
509 right. Spokane, Washington out here. I like it. I like it. And then Freddie G, the 187, tuning in from the 817 Texas.
Cam Letson, this one's a super chat. He says, "What's up, baby?" From the 585. That game had me so mad I had to punch myself instead of the wall. Smoking on that Browns pack, though. No cap.
All right.
So maybe he has some leftover from the previous game, or I don't know if he did the pre-order pack like me.
Well, I will say this, man. Some people took that loss very hard yesterday, man.
Yeah, someone said they were crying right here. Dame got bored.
Yeah,
he
bro.
Says, I cried watching that game.
Listen, man. My little man, I had G with me, bro.
Oh, yeah.
He was crushed. So funny thing, right?
When was that? When was that in
like,
the game?
No, that was like right at the end of the game. So check it out. So this is the situation. I'll explain it, right?
Okay.
So early on in the game, right, when we first turned it on, it's 0. It was still 0-0 at the time. So like, little man, fast, I'll rewind it even further. So we started out, we were watching the Bills game because the Bills game came on at 1. So we're watching that, and obviously the Bills were tied at first, and they got the lead. So I'm like, yeah, G, like our team is winning, we're good. So he's like, good, because he already knows.
I thought he was gonna say, no, that ain't my team.
No, he already knows because it's like, that's where where his sister was born at, where I started at. So he gets
so
that, right?
He kind of likes him.
I don't think he understands.
Okay.
He just recognizes them, right? So he was recognizing them and was like, all right, cool, we're winning. So obviously the Steelers game comes on, and I'm like, oh, this is our team. So we got our black and gold. We used to have the hoodie on with the 5-5 and everything, right? So now the game starts. The excitement is there. But what happens at the beginning? We start losing right away. So he's already like, Dad, I'm looking at the score, and they're scoring more than us. So I pulled the dad move. It worked with the Pirates. I said, hey, son, we're winning. The object this game?
No.
I promise. It was a bad move. I said, son, the object for this game is to score the least amount. Because it was 20. He said, Dad, they have 23 and we have 0. What is going on?
It's like golf.
He said, I said, yo, we try to get the least amount of points. He was like, but I thought the Bills, they scored more. And I was like, well, that was a different style of game.
Oh, no.
So the game is going on. The game is going on. Now, obviously, me, wifey, my mother-in-law, we're all up here. We know what's happening. So we in here getting worked up like, God, dog, man, they got to pick it up. G is happy the whole time, though. He's like, yo, Dad, why you getting mad? Like, we winning, don't worry. So that fourth quarter, it's like 2 minutes left in the game. I'm like, look, bro, since the game pretty much over, I'm going to go ahead and record my vid. So I'm like about to go ahead and set up to start recording and stuff. And he's like, Dad, I thought we were winning. I was like, look, man, we got to talk, G. So I'm like, I said, look, I'm sorry. He was like, why are you apologizing? I said, because, son, I said, I've tricked you. I didn't want to say I lied to him. I was like, I pulled a little a prank on you, because that's his thing. Anytime he like wants to lie, he's like, it's a prank. So I was like, hey, son, it was a prank. I was like, we're actually losing right now, and it's not looking good. And he instantly, like, his whole demeanor, you could see it, like, just his face, the smile went away, shoulders got real dejected, arms down. I'm like, oh no, he's about to lose it. So wifey and mother-in-law don't realize it.
No.
So he started because he has this thing where he doesn't want to like cry in front of us because he's emotional. And sometimes it's like, all right, yo, you're good, but other times like he can go to his room. So he starts like casually walking. I hear him on the stairs. I'm like, G, come here, bro. I said, come here, man. And man, when he came down them stairs, bro, he was balling. I'm talking like you would have thought the dogs died, bro. It was like that. So I'm like, you come here, I'm trying to hug him and hold on him. And as you can see in the picture, I'm balling laughing because I just didn't think he would take it that serious. Wifey and mother-in-law over here, they trying to console. I'm like, bro, this is bad. And then eventually I was like, well, you know what, son? Don't worry. Don't worry. He was like, why, Dad? We lost. Like, we suck. It's bad. I said, it's okay, son. We got the Browns next week. We will be all right. And he got excited then. And after that, we was able to ease on and was like, oh, yo, go play with your look what Santa bought you. And we went that way. But yeah, man. So part of me, I felt guilty because I was like, you know, maybe that was a bad dad move, but it was hilarious though at the end of the day, bro. But
Yeah,
that was why
that's a
he
great
was.
story.
But that was ultimately why he reacted like that at that part of the game. Because yeah, he was under the impression that we were playing golf rules. You know, least score wins. Yeah.
I'm concerned though. I hope he doesn't switch his fanhood at all.
Oh, why would he switch his fanhood, man? Man, I am in this joint hot today. Lord.
I'm concerned. I just don't. I'm hoping you're not showing him like Josh Allen highlights on the side with your phone.
Well, you got to realize this, though. You got to realize this. Since he's been alive, he watches both because we watch both. So it's not like new to see Josh. It's not new to see the Bills have success. Not new to see the Bills struggle. You got to think they recently started being well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For KK, my oldest, she remembers Buffalo bad.
Does she like the Bills better?
No. Honestly, for her, I mean, she obviously loves the Steelers, but she gets annoyed with the fandom. Like, that's her whole thing. So that's why she'll root for the Cardinals. She'll watch Bills because she's like, I just don't want to keep dealing with like fans. Even Ava. Ava's the same way. Ava's like, Dad, I love the Steelers, but I hate when you go places. And I'm like, why? She's like, because everybody stops you. And she hates it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why for them, when we're in Buffalo, it happens, but nowhere near as much because we're not up there as much. So that's why they're like, oh, Buffalo. Oh, AZ. Whereas Gray, he's like the reverse. He's like, yeah.
He likes the
that's my
attention.
dad.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know how it is, man.
Well, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for that story.
Yeah, man. I was hoping I would cheer you up a little bit, though, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a funny story, and I hope G is happy these next 2 weeks.
I hope he could forgive me for my for my janky parenting skills over here.
Yeah. Do you think he was crying more because of the game, or you?
I don't know,
cranking
man.
him?
I don't know, man. It was a mix of both because he was really hurt. I was like, why are you crying? Is it because of me? No, Dad, we lost. It's like, dang, we lost. So with that being said, man,
Yeah,
I guess
I think we got enough of the
right?
check-ins.
Yeah, man. You know.
I'll say this super chat real quick before we get into it.
Yeah, go ahead, rock that.
Joel Hernandez says, I feel like TJ lost the depoy yesterday. What happened in the Cowboys game? I didn't even watch it.
Trayvon Diggs got a pick, and Michael Parsons got a sack as well. And they obviously won big. Was it 56-7?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy watching that. That was solely because of like my old hood. You know?
I
was like, yo, anytime we can stick it to them folk.
Fans happy, huh?
They were pretty happy. The fan was definitely happy. You know, we were a little it was a mixed bag in the Moats household, as you can understand why. You know, at 1 o'clock it felt great. At about 8 o'clock we felt wasn't really liking that too much. So yeah.
To that comment, yeah, he's definitely losing steam. Yeah. I'll put it to you that way.
So what was your thoughts?
Who knows what happens the last 2 weeks, but yeah.
Yeah. Now, what were your thoughts though when obviously you see him out there and at times he looked like he's laboring. Other times you're asking yourself, is he playing with his hair on fire like normal? But then after the game, when they asked Coach Tomlin about TJ and his ribs, nothing of significance, nothing new, nothing that would have altered his play. To me, I just don't feel like both of those things can be hand in hand. Because when I'm watching him and I'm seeing him chase plays down from the backside, and I'm like, yo, he's not going full speed trying to really make this play. To me, that's him being altered. I mean, honestly, I was a little even more pissed off because I'm like, Coach Steve, you knew he was looking like that on Thursday and Friday. You could have told me that ahead of time and I would have saved my money because I put money on because I figured I legit felt
I put the 40 bonds.
Because I legit felt that was the matchup. That would have been the difference. TJ would be able to dominate their tackle, especially with their starting one being out. I was like, yo, that's the difference maker in this game. You think Tyreek Hill wasn't even utilized like that outside of the first drive.
Yep.
But yeah, you're watching. I'm like, bro, we're not getting any pressure.
No
Like
pressure.
he's not even rushing. Like,
You
yeah,
saw it
that part had me
immediately.
hot, man. I'm not gonna lie, it had me hot. And I understand now why bettors are so serious about this injury report. Because if I would have had that information, Deke, I promise you, Deke, if I had that information, I'm not putting money on that game like that, bro. But I was under the assumption because he said that everybody was full, everybody's good to go. We're gonna get TJ, and we didn't get TJ. We got 90. Yeah, it's a little different.
To your point, it was right off the bat because he re-injured it.
You saw
How many
him,
series in?
like it was like maybe 2 series. You see him pull, and I'm like,
But then he
bro.
sat out like a full quarter almost.
and then came back. Yeah,
was in and
bro.
out.
Yeah,
He wasn't TJ. It wasn't
Not at
TJ.
all, bro.
And what's weird about this
Yeah.
one too is it's not the groin, or maybe it is a little bit of the groin. We just don't know. Now it's more
it's
of
not
the
the
cracked
ribs. Yeah. But I'm like, man, if you knew it was gonna be altered like that, number one, make some roster moves to make sure we got that accounted for. But also let the people know that he's limited coming into this game, because that drastically changes how this defense looks. Would you agree?
You put a lot of cash on this one, huh?
Well, we'll just say I wasn't being a fake fan. How about that? Okay.
Nice.
If we want to put it that way, we'll put it that way. Okay. That was the part for me where I was just like, and I do this. Like, I don't mind, losing, but it's just like, I felt deceived because I made that
Hey, what
move.
goes around comes around.
Oh, yeah, it's the truth. Hey, that's why I chalked
You
it
to
up to the
G.
game.
You to G.
I chalked it up to the game, bro. I chalked it up. I said, you know what? It is what it is, man. But I was definitely upset about that part, bro, because that changes a lot. And we saw when he was out there, he wasn't out there. And then we saw when he was off the field, like it really got bad. Now, I will say this. Two guys in that front seven I thought did play well, or at least rush well, was Highsmith and Cam. I thought that those two guys did consistently provide pressure. But as a whole, this defense isn't constructed to win with just Highsmith and Cam. They need another guy out there creating pressure. They need that outside alpha guy.
We can't have Mondo playing the amount he is. We just can't.
Right, and that to me was the big thing, man. Obviously, Taco came in and provided some stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible.
Yeah, and I thought Simon, in a sense, did some things, but his role was very limited.
I didn't even see him.
He was, dude, I had to realize when he popped up on the screen, I'm like, who was 38?
Oh, that was him.
That was him. I was like, yo, why is this number so stank at outside? And I'm trying to think of my man who was the last 38 that I remembered. And I really couldn't think of no outside.
How do you even pull that off? 38?
Well,
they designate him as an outside linebacker?
They don't have the rules anymore on the jersey numbers. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Ingram is out there with the 20, was it 24 or whatever? Yeah. So I'm looking, and it took me a couple plays. I'm like, who the heck is 38? I'm like, bro, Tuska's 48. It's like Taco's 90. I said, who's 38? And I'm like, oh, that's him. Yeah.
I thought it was just a special teams guy, just
it's filling
leaking into the lineup a little bit somehow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I felt the same way. I'm like, what the hell? We got 38 out here. We're down bad.
Yes, bro. Yes.
Highsmith, he had that really nice strip sack at the beginning of the game. It's just unfortunate we didn't pick it up.
It flew in the air. It was in their side of the field too, man.
I can't remember if it was 7-0 or 14-0 at the time, but if we recover that, who knows what difference that makes. We could even point to Deontay's fumble coming out in the second half. We had a little something going. It still would have been a tough road to climb, but yeah, too many things just didn't go our way, and we didn't play good, flat out. Yeah, I mean, when we talk about this team, right, in terms of the Steelers, we know the first thing is our margin of error is small. Offensively, defensively, special teams, largely because we have some holes. And not just do we have some holes, also the things that we kind of feel like we have under control, like certain positions, we know they can be inconsistent at times as well. And when you throw that situation in there along with the turnovers, then you're giving up big plays on defense. You miss a field goal. Those type of things add up in a game like this against a competent team. Because like we said, the Chiefs, they're not a perfect team by no stretch of the imagination. But at the same time, they execute well. That's 8 games in a row that they've won. You don't win those games in a row without operating and executing and focusing on the little details. And you can see in a game where Tyreek Hill is targeted 4 or 5 times tops, and then you don't even have Travis Kelce, but yet that offense still ran smooth. They lost Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first half. Think about that. Didn't even matter. And it didn't matter because of how they were able to just plug and play. You come in here, make this work. The O-line, okay, you got a backup going against TJ. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna find ways to slide in this pocket, and we used to see it, right, bro? They had. It felt like 7 or 8 guys blocking.
It was nuts, bro.
So part of it was like, man, why aren't we getting pressure? We're sucking. but it looked like we only rushed 4.
That's what.
And they had like 7 or 8 guys, and Mahomes
So,
was just able to just stay back there and make time a little bit, and then make a good throw. That was at least the one touchdown. I remember.
For a fact, but we did that a lot because I felt like early on we realized that we would have some issues matching up with their receivers. I didn't think it would be to that extent. You talk about your Hardmans, your Pringles, but and think about it, right? When we talked about this on Wednesday, we were saying what? Man, we're not worried about, we got to worry about Tyreek, and if Kelsey's not out there, we're good. These other guys, we got to match up with them one-on-one, we'll be fine.
And just stop the run.
Right. But we couldn't match up with those guys one-on-one, so it forced us to play a too high look because you got to account or allocate 2 guys to Tyreek Hill, and Minka was doing that. Like, you'll watch Minka on some plays, and it's like, yeah,
he
that's
played
a
good
devil.
again.
He did, bro. A ton of
Really
tackles.
good.
I feel bad for him, though, because, bro, that's a ton of tackles at safety, bro. Holy cow. You don't want safety's getting 14, 15 tackles back-to-back weeks like that, bro. This is nuts, man. This is nuts.
And he's not a big safety either.
Not at all. If we talking about like a box safety, that's different.
If that's Polamalu making the tackles, whatever.
We talking about your last line of defense. You don't want your last line of defense leading your team in tackles on multiple weeks because that means you're getting gashed. That means you're allowing too many explosive plays. And when you watched that game yesterday, you saw that. And the funny thing was this. I was like, when I looked at the stat sheet, I said, I picked out 3 names. And all 3 of these guys I felt very differently about. Minka, Spillane, Schobert.
Okay.
And I was just like, man, with Minka, I was like, I liked his volume of tackles, even though I felt like it was too many for him. I still felt like, he was still making good plays.
Nice pass deflection, too.
Right. Whereas, like, at times when I would look at, like, Spillane's tackles, I thought some of them were good, but then a good amount were, like...
Holy hell, yeah, he had 13.
But then a good amount were, like, the downfield tackle, like, after the guys already didn't have the initial burst and stuff. And I do think that I thought Schobert at times played really well, but then as a whole, it was still just not enough in terms of, like, the run game element of it, right? In terms of just being stout at the point of attack. And even though it wasn't a game where it felt like, a 200-yard, because they didn't have a 200. It was 120, 130 or whatever, right? So it wasn't the craziest rushing performance.
Worse than that, actually, in my opinion, because it felt like they got 6 or 7 yards whenever they wanted to.
Right. And that was the thing for me where I'm just like, I don't feel like we were like an interior part of our defense, excluding Kim, the interior part. We're talking the D-line and our inside linebackers. It was just not physical enough. We weren't turning it back enough. And this isn't a team in the Kansas City Chiefs that are known to run the ball. This is a team that's known to what? They want to air it out. We talk about that at times. They throw it too much. And you're watching this performance and you're just like, bro, they're putting anybody back there and they're getting 4 or 5 yards off the ground.
And this is in the second half when
man,
they're running the ball.
That was the part for me where I was just so frustrated watching that part, bro. Because it's like, we know they're going to run the ball. They don't have a dog back there running back right now. They don't have a dog offensive line right now. But yet they are getting everything they want when they run. They run a fullback dives. Bro, the fullback dives.
I know.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, that was really disheartening in the second half because if we had any hope of coming back, one, we couldn't have the fumble from Deontay.
Yeah.
I mean, that really
killed it.
Really popped the balloon right there because the defense had a nice stop right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just literally gives it right to them. And then the defense has to come back out already tired. I can't remember. I think they kicked a field goal there. They scored somehow, some way.
Right.
But then, it was just kind of over from that point. But just even the thought of, hey, this is garbage time. They're going to keep running it. Let's get these stops at least.
Yeah. And usually, think about
maybe make things a little interesting.
Well, and I was laughing because I say usually this is
because we were garbage in garbage time.
Right. This is usually the part of the game where we make headway and we make it interesting. And you heard Romo saying it the whole time. Oh, well, you never can count them out. They wait till they're down 3 scores, and we're all over here like, all right, here we go. I think when it was 23-zip and they missed that field goal, when they missed that field goal, I was like, uh-oh. We got a chance. It felt right. It felt like, yo, this is what we've seen. How many weeks now? It's going to happen again. And it just never did. And then when it got to complete garbage time, we still could. Well, actually, there was one guy that came in and provided a spark.
Stop.
We did see somebody have a little spark in garbage time. Now that I think about it, he was dotting them up. That shows some athletic ability. I don't know what he might have changed his diet up since the season started, because this guy that came in at the end of the game, he showed some wheels, bro. Like, we'll get to him later. Though. We'll get to him later.
Mason. Is that a big topic right now?
I'm messing. I don't even know. You know why? Because I haven't even started my work day just yet. We started with us today. Usually I start with my Steelers stuff and then come back to us. So I get a chance to check the temperature. I haven't even checked the temperature yet. So yeah, we just...
He did surprise me. I'll give him that. He surprised me with a little bit of his pocket presence. At the same time, it's the last drive of this.
Oh, no, man. We ain't doing that, man. He was leading the comeback. We didn't see it happen before.
A little faster than I thought, but he proved that in the Lions game.
No, he did, though.
Breaking off one or two of those runs. I was like, what the hell? And the one time he got really jacked up and then got up and did the fist pump and everything.
When he knocked me out. Yeah. Nah, but that was crazy, man. So, all right. So when we start on the, I want to focus on the offense first, and then we'll focus on the defense, because I do feel like some more that we're going to talk about with this defense as well. Yeah, we'll get to them too.
Yeah, both were bad.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Absolutely. But offensively, we had the same things happening, right? Inconsistent play with the O-line. I mean, we see times we see some time where it looked like Ben got time, other times where he's flustered. As soon as he turns around, he's getting hit. I felt like that happened on the fumble when he fakes the dive, fakes the boot. Fakes the dive, fakes the reverse.
We'll
so he turn around, the dude's like right on him, bro.
Some of these play calls were just atrocious.
That's why I want to start with the offense, because we definitely gonna get that.
Atrocity.
When we say it was a full group, it was a full group effort today. Or yesterday. It definitely was, man. It definitely was. But like I said, to me, man, starting out O-line, and it's hard to even say they took a step back. That's the frustrating part. Because
Najee got some yards in the second half.
Right.
Well, they're in some type of prevent.
No, they were in a high. They were playing a too high look. They were going to make you have to run the ball. And at times, like I said, we struggled at times to run with the lighter box where we had the numbers, but I did like what I did see from Najee. Like I said, the O-line, I thought they were very inconsistent, especially pass pro. I thought running wise, it was more perimeter in the sense of on some of those, like the 4th and 1, the pitch play, some of those type of, no, but just hear me out. I don't necessarily hate the call. I hate the execution of Ray and Chase Claypool blocking their guys on the edge, because neither one of them did. And that was ultimately why that play went so flat and Najee could never turn it up. And you saw Chooks pulling around. He can never get north and south because they get destroyed at the point. So for me, that's where you miss Juju, though, because Juju is the guy that would be on that point. And now instead of Ray being on the outside, it would be Chase Claypool on the outside, a bigger body. So you got Juju, who's extremely physical, setting that edge. And then you got Chase, who's just a bigger body, who's going to get the cleanup. Now you got Chooks the time to get around. What happened yesterday? You got Chase get popped in the mouth. Ray falls, trips over Chase, and now from there, Chooks, he ain't gonna never be able to get his shoulders north and south, and you got Najee just running directly to the sideline. To me, it's like, I don't mind the call, but if you know your personnel isn't what it needs to be, that's where you got to make your changes. You feel me? And that was the part when I looked at that, and a lot of those toss cracks, those outside runs that we were trying to accomplish, it was just like, bro, our perimeter guys aren't blocking like that they need to. So that's never going to work for you. Now, I did think that at times when Najee was hitting it inside and bouncing it outside, I like those runs a lot better. But once again, that's when they're playing that too high look. And we're not getting that look on some of these short yardage running situations. So to me, that was the part where I'm looking at Ken and I'm saying, man, I don't mind the call. But if you know that these guys can't do that, Ray McLeod, he's never been a blocker. He's a small guy anyways. That'd be like having Deontay trying to block somebody at the point. If you're backside, you can get away with it. Just get in his way, make him run around you. Point of attack, that guy's running through him. And that's where you can't do those type of things, man.
So with Najee, well, with that play, you heard Romo talk about it on the broadcast, saying like, oh, Ingram, he had something in his back pocket. He knew this was coming because he was on the Steelers. So you don't buy that at all? It was just more bad execution on our part?
But this is the thing, though. Ingram could know the play. I can know the play and not having to be in the huddle. It's just you're playing the percentages. You know when it's 3rd and short or 4th and short, you're either going to get something going A gaps or you're getting something hitting the perimeter. It's one or the other. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to deal with a lot of reverses. Every once you get the jet sweep in that moment, but without the backside motion, you don't have to worry about the jet sweep. So process of elimination, if I have a bunch here and it's a tight bunch, you saw where they were lined at, right?
Yeah.
They were right next to the tackle. That gives me information. And that's what we talk about film set. That's what we talk about, just like, all right, if you're watching tape, anticipation. I don't have to be in the huddle with you to know these are what I can get out of this. That's some of the things like when I was getting on Devin earlier in the year, and I was like, man, it's not necessarily about athletic ability. Sometimes just watching film and you just know tendencies. Like, yo, they're going to run this style of play or it's going to be this style of play. For Ingram, that's all that was. I don't think it was anything crazy, but obviously because it's Ingram it's more fun to make that comment. But to me, it was
he
just
actually played pretty good.
Yeah, but to me, it was just okay. Toss crack, and on toss crack, what do you got to do? You got to fight pressure. And the rule as an outside linebacker, we say there is zero chance that a tight end or a wide receiver can ever block you on the perimeter. Not even about talent or size. It's just a mindset. So if I see a receiver, I'm thinking in my mind, this is the utmost disrespect. I might spit in your face while I throw you down. Like, that has to be the mindset. And you watch Ingram. What does he play like? He's pissed off if you blocking with a receiver, blocking with a tight end. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's what we say, like, when we don't have Highsmith and Teach out there, at times we see where linebackers are getting blocked by tight ends and receivers. And you're like, bro, that should never happen, ever. So for Ingram, when I saw that, it was just like, man, yeah. You try to block him with a receiver you try to block him with a receiver that's not really about that blocking life. It's gonna look like that, man.
You could tell me if I'm wrong on this one too, but I didn't think Najee did himself any favors, and maybe around the first 2, 3, 4 series, felt like he was dancing around a little bit. But then he had that one big run for 20 yards where it started to change his running style.
And then he started to run physical again.
Yeah. Yep. But we've been seeing that a little bit over the past 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe that was just more of a wake-up call for him. Like, bro, like I need to start hitting these holes because we could be gaining like 3 or 4 more yards if you just run strong.
But that was kind of...
but that's what I felt like he ran the rest of the game, though, at least.
Well, to me, that the first half reminded me of not his last year at Alabama, the year before that, where he was doing a little bit more of the dancing stuff. And that was kind of the knock on him. You're like, you're a big back. You need to run big. You're not going to dance around guys. You're not going to outrun guys. And that was one of the things that Nick Saban was very documented going into his final year there that they talked about. And that was the biggest difference for him going into that last season at Alabama.
He still has that. I mean, you see some of the jukes. Absolutely. He jumped over that dude, but sometimes it is a little too much.
It's like, you're getting too enamored with trying to shake instead of just being a big, powerful back. And for me, I thought that in the second half, like you said, after that 20-yard run or whatever, when he bounced that thing,
he just went straight.
Yeah, from there he started doing less wiggling, more physical running. Even the stiff arms at the ends of some of these runs, you would see that. To me, when he's playing like that, that allows him to juke more. That allows him to jump over guys. But it has to be the physicality first that sets up that agility. It can't be Najee wants to be the scat back, agile guy first and then surprise you with power, because that's not going to be his best performance. But for him, man, he's still young. And that's the thing. It was like he was able to make that adjustment right on the fly and was good to go. Sometimes, I mean, we get pissed because we're like, can we make adjustments like for the team? You know what I mean? Like that. But shout out to Najee for at least being able to do that.
What do you think went through his head on that? What is someone saying that to him on the sideline? Is that the running backs coach? Is that him looking at something saying like, yo,
mix,
I'm off?
Honestly, it could be a mix of everything. At times, as players, you feel it yourself. You know, you'll be out there and you're like, you know what, bro, I'm doing way too much of this. I got to get back to this. I'm way too much speed rush. Let me get back to this power. All right, man, I'm too hesitant right now. Let me just shoot my gun. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you could feel it and you can make that adjustment. And a lot of guys, like at this level, we're so in tune with our bodies and our mind because we've been doing this for so long that we know it. But other times you're kind of blinded by a situation where you're just so focused on, I got to get this part right, that you might not see that you're hurting other parts. And that's where your position coach comes in. That's where a guy like Eddie Faulkner potentially might have been to him like, yo, Najee, get back to running big. Yo, hurt him.
Or even Ben,
you know what I mean?
Something like that. Yeah.
Just be physical, bro. Like make them have to tackle you, because that's the thing. Like you let a defender off the hook when you're a big back like Najee, but you're trying to juke and now you're falling backwards. Now you're falling sideways. That doesn't hurt me as bad. If I'm a small DB, I can do that for 4 quarters. Whereas if you're pounding me and even though I'm tackling you, I'm falling back we've seen how them games are for us at times where it's like, bro, we tackle him, but I don't think we really want to tackle this dude anymore. And then what happens? They'll hit a big run. That's the part where you're like, for Najee, you're like, nah, that's what you're capable of. When you run like that, man, they don't want to keep tackling you for 4 quarters. I can assure you of that. I can assure you of it. But that's the one of the things that as a younger player, you just got to keep understanding that, keep growing with it, and keep learning. And I don't always fault him either, because when you're playing behind the O-line that is currently constructed and how inconsistent it can be.
Yeah, I'm sure that can make you a head case.
Sometimes you're like, okay, do I need to be more elusive to get out the way right now and then get going? Or do I actually have time to hit this hole and make my reads and my progressions? Right now, there's no consistency, or it's not consistent enough. So if you're Najee, how can you determine if this play you should hit at full speed and this play you need to juke a guy, that's about to come through free? You just don't know. And that's the part where I say they have to improve, because that will help him improve. And now going to the next person, Ben, right? that would help him improve as well, because at times it's like, he's gonna miss some throws. He's aged, and that's where we had different. That's why I knew you was like, he hasn't declined. I'm like, bro, he's taking some steps back, but
unfortunately he didn't outplay Mahomes in this one. I thought he was. I thought he was going to.
I'm actually glad. I was even gonna bring. I ain't glad I was gonna bring it up, but I'm glad that you addressed it first, man. You know. I went back. I was watching that video.
See my comments.
I went back and watched. I was low key upset. I said, "Man, so you gonna tag me in the score prediction, but you ain't want to tag me in this video."
Oh no, I wanted to talk to you about that. No. I actually wanted to talk to you about that because whenever I was making the Instagram for it, I'm typing up the caption. I'm like, there's no way he wants, because the reels, it copies the caption onto here. I'm like, all right, so I blasted the fake fans and said, fake fans, haters, you better be keeping your I'm like, there's no way he's going to want to copy that caption. So I was just like, I'm going to leave it. And then I felt the same way on Twitter. I'm like, there's no way he's going to want to retweet my caption and stuff. I'm just going to let it be.
That's crazy, man. I
well, tell me if I'm wrong on that.
I didn't like the caption, but I like the video, though. The only reason I like the video is because it just shows. I mean, that's like the running thing with our show, though.
You know what I could have done better, though? Maybe I could have made the caption something more neutral, at least on Instagram, and then put the blast in the comments.
Or you could have still blasted and be like, even though most don't agree. Okay. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Like, I still was going to ride with you, bro.
Okay. Man. I was more or less just looking out for it.
I felt some type of way. I'm over here like, I got to go to his page to go check this comments. I just want to see the comments. That's all. I said, I know Deke got some heat going on today, boy. Lord.
That's what my friends did, too. They really enjoy the comments.
That's what the comments, bro. I just want to see the comments. And look, and when that flea flicker
was the worst call I've ever seen.
Worst call, but I don't like it was predetermined by Ben, too. And you saw that part where as soon as he got the flea flicker back, he just gonna chalk it. I didn't like the call as a whole.
He did like a fadeaway.
I ain't like the decision.
It wasn't a good throw.
From start to finish. That hold, and why are you throwing the flea flicker to Ray McCloud? That's the other part of me. I don't have an issue with Ray. I keep saying that. I just don't like his usage on offense. I feel like at times they try to feature him, and I'm just like, I don't agree with that. I really don't. I get
what type of connection does he have with Canada? What does he have on Canada?
For me, I'm like, I understand he gets instant separation, right? In terms of the first 3 to 5 yards, and I get that. But unless you're throwing that ball in the first 3 to 5 yards, it's nothing that he's really giving you downfield. Like, for every one catch that he might make that is spectacular, that is a good catch.
He did have a really nice catch on fourth down.
It's like for every one that he has, he's going to have a ton of others where it's just like, what are we doing? Why are we throwing it to him? Not even in the sense of can he catch it or not, but just like, it doesn't seem like it's productive right now. Whereas when we're putting the ball on Deontay, saying we can see the productivity, even with his mishaps, right? He had a couple drops, fumbled the ball. You still watch him play. And you can make a case like, he was still the best receiver out there for us. Like, you can see him eating. You can see him going hard and still making guys miss. Chase, we got to applaud Chase.
Oh, my God. Those catches were awesome.
We have to applaud him. He did make some nice catches at the beginning. I did like that. More importantly, you saw him show maturity. He was putting the ball down. He's running back to the huddle. It was a pleasant surprise. You can't take it for granted. So that was cool to see as well, man.
You know what? That first down celebration, though, I think it's a meme forever because I posted it as soon as he got the first down. Yeah. So you don't celebrate on the field.
Everybody celebrate for you?
Yep.
Everybody celebrate for you, man.
Yeah, because those were nice catches, dude.
Yeah, dude. It was. I don't understand with him, though, at times. It's like, I feel like he could be super dominant. And then other times,
we should have just kept going to him. Those two catches, it's like, all right, just keep feeding them.
And that's my thing. It's just like, I don't understand that dynamic all the way. Like, you watching it, it's like you see the success that it can be. You can see how productive it can be, especially when he actually goes up and makes the comeback catches. He did them back to back. But then I think it might have been not on that same drive. I think it was one on the opposite side of the field where it was like a contested 50-50. But after that,
he just put up one hand.
Yeah, but I felt like they never were going back to him outside of the.
He did have that one.
PI. He drove the PI.
He had that one nice catch across the middle too.
Yeah,
looked like he was gonna drop it. He was like fumbling it all over the place. But he made the clean catch there.
Yeah.
So, his game, if you want to talk best receiver, I'd maybe give the edge to Claypool just because he didn't have the calamity like Deontay.
Gotcha.
The
and
major
see, for
calamity.
me, the reason why I give it to Deontay, because I'm like, at least he gave us the points. You know what I mean?
The touchdown.
Yeah, and it was a nice play, bro.
That was a really nice play.
That was a nice play. You see him catch it, juke. Yeah. And that's for me, and I'm like, I understand he has his shortcomings, but the one thing that we can continue to say about Deontay this season is whenever he's had bad plays, he's responded. I mean, we talk about that Bengals game where he dropped. I mean, how many games? We see 2 games I think it is where we've seen him have like either touchdown drops or some like yeah. But he continues to stay in the fight. He continues to make plays after those shortcomings, and that to me is something that I like. I'm like, you know what? We're all gonna have mistakes. Nobody's gonna be perfect out there. But let me see. Let me know that you believe in yourself. Let me know that you feel like, you know, that was a fluke. I'm gonna make this right. And that's what I'm seeing a lot more from him this season compared to last season.
Yeah. So with Ben, I don't think he did himself or the team any favors with his play yesterday. But then it goes back to what we've said all season. Definitely not his fault. The O-line, we've had some drops with the receivers. And then the defense played really poor. But I think you want to talk about doing no favors. I mean, Canada and the play calling, I think it was atrocious. Yeah,
at times it was really bad. And like I said, some of it was what I talked about, the personnel grouping, right? If you know who you have in front of you, if you know this O-line can't protect 4 or 5 seconds, why are you doing these very slow and long developing plays like the fake dive, fake reverse? Now I'm going to try to turn around and throw the ball.
Screens on third down.
Like those type of plays, like I just don't really agree with this unit. I think at times, and the problem is like, I can tell you what could work, but we got to execute it. And that's the time when you talk about, okay, if we know we can only go deep 5-6 times a game in terms of protection, all right, well, how do we mask that? All right, well, if we know we're going to plan to go deep on this series, let's start it out with some run. Let's start it out with some quick games. Start it out with just some quick hitters, because the quick hitters are safe throws. They keep the ball moving, but they wear the defense down. They'll keep the defense tired, right? So now you get a couple plays into this series. So now your O-line doesn't have to be the best, but with that D-line tired, now you're able to take a shot. Now, you know, 4 plays, 5 plays in, you could take a shot here because they're not going to be as hyped up, ready to go. And if you want, you can even add to that by having a tight end chip them on the way out. Maybe Najee bumps a guy on the way out. That can help you as well. We will see the Chiefs do that. Man, think about the Chiefs. They weren't every play dropping back, bombing it. No, they're going dink, dunk, run, dink, hit. Now they're going to take a shot. And by the time they go to take the shot, the rush isn't the same as it was at the beginning. You see the first goal plays like, man, rush over. All right, we're going to be all right. Hey, get out too quick. Now he can hold the ball because, well, we're a little winded now. 4 or 5 plays in. Those are the things that we should be able to do, but it goes back to having to execute. We talk about the Chiefs when they would run the ball in some of those situations, they were able to stay on schedule. We talk about when we tried to run the ball in some of those situations.
Brick wall.
Yes, brick wall.
Yeah, it was right off
the
bat.
You know what I mean? We talk about some of their short passes, right? They're getting guys wide open, right in that underneath that intermediate area.
We aren't doing that anymore.
Exactly.
Not as much.
Yeah.
It seems like it's all
crazy,
horizontal.
Bro.
It feels
crazy,
like it's swing past the Najee or screen passes, which I don't like. Or at least what we were doing last year. I know people can have their complaints about how the offense was run last year. At least there were a lot more drag routes and stuff. As soon as Ben would drop back, it'd be 2-yard pass to Juju. Then he'd get an extra 2 or 3 yards. We were using that as the running game.
Right, and it keeps you on track, but it ultimately will help the O-line. Because remember, last year, Ben wasn't sacked a crazy amount either. Remember, he
sacked a lot this year.
Right, and the big difference is what? Last year, he was able to get that ball out a lot faster, so now that pressure isn't getting to him the same way. And by the time he went to take a shot deep, even though it wasn't the best, when he would still do it, he would have time that way. This year, we're not taking that approach. This year, you can see it at times, it's like we're playing very lateral. We love sideline to sideline. We will go sideline to sideline all day. We don't like going north and south. But then at the same time, it's like we only go laterally behind the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Like the jet sweeps, the reverses, the swing passes, those type of stuff. The screens. But we don't do the drags. We don't do the ends. We're not attacking that part where it's easy just throws for him. Now, part of that is Juju. Because Juju was his guy that would work that area of the field as a slot receiver. He just had better size, combat catches. It was perfect for him. It was a good mix because Juju wasn't a downfield threat in that sense anyways.
Yeah.
Whereas now, when you have Ray, or sometimes they'll put Claypool in there, you can just see the dynamic isn't the same. And that is the part where you miss Juju.
And we didn't have Pat. I mean, he's
that hurts a lot too. Yeah,
that we've seen at least get some of those. And then like I said last week, every time he catches one, it's like, all right, we should just do this every time. I don't know why we're not.
I would
feel the same way whenever we start to get Claypool heated up. Like, bro, let's just pass it to our weapons. Let's pass it to our main guys. But no, it was rough, dude. It was rough.
Yeah. Now, I will say I did like Gentry a little bit though.
What did he even do?
He had like a couple. I think he had a nice catch early in the game. Then he had one. It was like at the end of the game. But he was a guy when I was watching. I was like, why don't we use him a little bit more in terms of when we're talking about like no Pat out there, but trying to keep the offense on schedule without having to have these long, elongated drop back plays where you're going to put the O-line in a bad situation. That goes back to the candidate stuff, right? In terms of, what we can and can't do well right now. Get us in what we can do well. Like, because the call coming in is one thing. Ben can decide run or pass. That's cool, but it's still off of the menu, right? So if the menu is giving him calls where it's, hey man, you have to drop back 5 seconds. These are your options, but you still gonna have to drop back 5. It's like, bro, that ain't good. I don't like this. We ain't got that right now. Those are the type of things with Canada where I'm like heavy on the criticism towards him, because those are things that you just got to be more in depth. You got to feel that, man. Like, what these guys can do and can't do. You got to feel it. And you got the bird's eye view. So it's not like you're on the sideline and you're having to hear your players come by and they're telling you one thing and you're like, man, maybe y'all are blocking well. Bro, you up in the booth. You know what's going on. Because that's the other part, right? When you're on the sideline, yes. On the sideline, as a player, you will come in here. You will tell your coach, bro, I'm frying this dude. I got him all day, coach. Don't worry. You go back and watch that tape, you're like, bro, I don't know what you were talking about over here. I don't know why I listened to you. But when you're on the sideline, you can't tell, and you got the emotion. You're in the heat of the battle. It's like, all right, I get it. That's why sometimes with Butts and Coach T, I'm like, yo, I get it. But y'all right down there. So y'all feeling what we feeling. And at times we emotional. It rubs off on y'all. I get it. Canada, you in the booth, baby. You ain't dealing with no old lineman come out to, hey, yo, I got him, dog. I got him, man. Hey, coach, call that play. I'm gonna block him for you. No, you ain't doing that. No, Canada, come on, baby. So for me, that's the part where I'm like, Canada, you're watching this. You see guys giving up pressure. You see guys struggling. You can see, okay, timing is off. Make the adjustments. That's the part where I'm like frustrated with him right now.
I'm usually ready to do it after the first series or two, but it seems like it takes way too long. Did we make any like real adjustments? Because it felt like the offense was the same even in the second half. I personally
did not feel like we made any adjustments. Defensively, I didn't feel like we made a ton of adjustments either. I felt like it was more so the Chiefs just decided. Yeah, the Chiefs just decided to, all right, we're gonna kill the clock now. And we've seen other teams play this in the past. The Vikings did it. The Bengals done it to an extent. We've seen teams do it, but typically we'll get a turnover. We'll get a stop. Something happens for us offensively. We make a play, and then we can get the momentum back, and then we make this frantic run, right? Yesterday, it just seemed like that never happened. It felt like the only success we had was when they decided to allow us to have success. When, it's like at the end of the game, all right, we're going to play this coverage. When they're done throwing the ball, we're just going to run the ball. Like, those are the things that I just feel like they dictated everything to us.
Or a penalty or two that they would get.
Yeah.
That was really some of our best success.
Mm-hmm.
Like they get 5 yards. Oh, holding on the offense. All right, cool. Now we could keep them off schedule a little bit. Hopefully we can get a 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to look at the snap counts here because one of the things on defense I was a little disheartened by was the lack of Witherspoon out there.
But no.
39%.
Mm-hmm.
39. And they were carving us up, man. I feel like if we put them on Pringle, because I don't remember a pass getting complete around him.
No, yeah. The pick on the
pick
on the offsides, and then he had the PBU in the end zone as well. I was just laughing because my man he goes celebrate.
Yeah.
They said, bro, it's 23
down 23-0.
You over here like, yo, I got him.
But you know what? Last time he did that,
he got the picks.
We had the comeback. Right. We had the comeback. So I was good with it. It was like kind of a big play.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, yo, it worked last time. Let's see if it works again. It didn't work. And I was like, all right, this said it good. Says that's good. Man, but no, I would have liked to see a little bit more of him.
Because it was Cam Sutton and Joe.
Yeah.
They were the guys. Joe, 72%. Yeah. Cam Sutton, 99%.
Well, as we transition to the defense, how did you feel about those two guys?
Joe was getting torched, man.
Okay. It's funny how a week can change things, huh?
Yeah.
Just last week, hey, man, it's pay that man. He's ready to go. Lock him up. He's the guy. This week, we're like, yo, he's getting torched, and it's not even like getting torched by like
Pringle.
The guys, yeah. You know what I mean? And that's part of the dilemma when you're talking about as this team, as a GM, right? Do you make your bed with him, franchise tag him, extend him, whatever, or do you go elsewhere? Because you can see at times where he has started to take a step back. It's not the biggest of steps, but just, I mean, at his age, at that position,
he'll be in the right place and stuff, but
he'll be good. But it's just like he's not able to do it like what we would need right now. And that's the difference. And it's like if Joe is your number 2 corner or even your third guy, it's, man, night and day. But if you're trying to have him be your one, every week right now, we're going to have some mismatches, man. Guys that are a little bit more fleet-footed, younger guys. Yeah, it happens, man. That's a part of the game, man. That's a part of it. But like I said, for me, there was just the crazy part of 1 week, it's a different mentality, different perception. Whereas this week, because guys are making these catches now, and you feel it. It just felt different, man. I mean, even some of the stuff where it's just like, all right, if it's performance related, that's one, or like physical ability related. But then it was like, man, I know on the one with 40 catching the bomb, I'm like, get your eyes off the backfield, baby. Get your eyes in the backfield.
Oh, that was more on him.
Got your eyes in the backfield because he
had was that a short zone?
So and
then because then Minka was the one it looks really bad
right.
on.
But Minka is just covering because for Joe was supposed to stay with that dude, and you saw how late it happened. What ended up going on was this, right? Once Mahomes come out the pocket, Joe essentially you have to decide.
Yeah,
you decide, do you stay in coverage and let the guy run, or do you come out of coverage, but now you give a guy opportunity to throw the ball? Joe's kind of caught in that in between, and he did the sin of a cover guy. That's a sin.
Is it?
Yes, because we always say, like, what can kill you faster? Mahomes not going to run 40 yards.
It would have been 10 yards.
You know what I mean? Whereas you come out of that coverage to go force him to run out of bounds or to make a tackle, and now you got 40 catching a bomb. You know what I mean? Like, those are the type of things where it's just like, all right, come on, baby. You know better than that. And he knows that. That's the thing. It's not nothing new to Joe. Joe knows this. But sometimes, man, it's like, yo, you just had a bad play. But when you throw that,
where you're trying to make a play,
other stuff, right? That's where you're like, yo, you gotta get that part going. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Akello out there a little bit more. But it seemed like right from the jump, we were trying to get some more heavy packages out there because I saw Mollett. And if they still have Cam Sutton and Joe Hayden slotted as our starting corners, then I guess that's why you're going to have them out there whenever you do that base type of stuff or try to do those heavy formations.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to see him because I do think he's legit talent-wise.
Yeah.
It's just, well, we only got 2 games left, but he's been playing really good.
Yeah, has been
every time he's been getting in. So I think he could have locked up either Pringle or Hardman, whoever
right, just
it was.
one of them, and then maybe that changes the dynamic of the game. But the way that thing was flowing, I mean, at times I was like, bro, can we guard any of these dudes?
I know. We're seeing these no-name tight ends even catching it across the middle.
Bro, I was over here like, that's not Kelsey. Who is this guy? Who's this dude, man?
Yeah, Spillane
Oh my God.
Looked like preseason Spillane.
Yo, chill. Why you got to go with Spillane, man? Come on, man. He ain't had no option, bro. He ain't had no help out there, man. It was him and Shover, bro. Nah, I'm playing.
You're right, because I think there was 1 or 2 times he was on one of the receivers.
Yeah, and I was like,
And the one was like kind of good. Mahomes made a really nice pass the one time. He like threaded it through.
Mm-hmm. But some, like, I had probably 1 or 2 where Spillane was in coverage. And remember we talked about dating back to the Ravens game a year ago. I was like, I don't mind when he gets beat in coverage. My issue is when he get beats to his leverage side or if his eyes are bad. He did have like 2 throws that were completed on him where if his eyes are on his work, it's different. It's either a PBU or he's at least making the tackle on the catch. Eyes in the backfield, you get separation. Now that catch is made and that guy's catching and running it. Those were some of the things that I had issues with Spillane and coverage. But at the same time, it's like, I don't expect Spillane to be an elite cover guy.
No.
That's not his game. You know?
I was expecting us to stop the run a little bit better, though.
I did as well. That was, to me, what I was more frustrated with. And that's why I was like, stats can be misleading. Because you look at the stat sheet, and like you said, you see what? 13, 14 tackles between him, Minka, and Schobert. And it's like, Minka's tackles look good, but he's doing them because he's having to save everybody. When I'm watching Spillane and Joe, even though they had a ton of volume, they weren't a ton of like impact tackles. It was more of the downfield. They already got 4 or 5 yards. Let me just drag this guy down. Like, I'm not a fan of that. Like, granted, you have to make the play. And that's why I was like, I respect it. Because, I mean, we've seen in games where it should be like that for Bush. And it's like, well, how do you only have 2 tackles? And I get that part. Seriously, like, it's a part of it. But you could just see where it's like, that still isn't necessarily a good performance. It's like, yo, he still has, this is what we have to attack more at that position. And we're not doing it enough right now.
Yeah, if you would have asked me right off the bat, did Spillane have a good game without checking the stats, I would have said no. I didn't think he played good at all. Yeah. And same thing with Schobert. Goes back to what you said. Yeah, I saw some plays out there, but overall, I felt a little lackluster at times. And then Minka, I thought he played awesome. So, man, when you told me to pull up the stat sheet and I saw Spillane,
see, that's what I'm saying, bro.
I'm like, no way. I thought he played bad.
Right, and you're asking yourself, like, how does that happen? But that's why you can't always just read the stat part because it will mislead you a little bit right there, man.
Is there anything we're missing on the defense?
A
lot of people were talking about the coordinators being on the hot seat, though, for sure.
Well, we know anytime you have expectations like the Steelers had and the season is going how it currently is, And this isn't the first season of it being like this. This is, been happening for a couple of years now in terms of some of these reoccurring issues. Yes, coordinators do become on the hot seat, because if you don't, then you send the sign of what? This is okay. We feel like what we have been doing is good enough, or we think we could just make a small tweak here or there. I personally find that hard to keep that same mentality at this stage, where now it's not like we're in September and we can give the hypothetical or the hope that we're going to be a 10, 11 win team or a 13 real contender team. Like right now, we are looking at what? Best case, we hope we get these last 2 wins, but even if we split it, you're looking at a 500 record or slightly below 500.
I still feel like we should win these last 2. We should.
I do as well, based on all the information that we have.
Yeah.
Ravens without Lamar in that situation. Obviously, Cleveland is Cleveland. They are just Cleveland. They are inconsistent, just like us, in terms of at times in games they look good, at times they look bad. At times Baker looks good, at times Baker looks bad. Like, that's who they are. You know what I mean? So I feel like we should be able to win both of those games. But if the team that showed up yesterday shows up in those games, I don't think we beat either of them. If the team that showed up in the second half of the Vikings game, I think we win. If it's the first half of the Vikings game, I think we lose. But that's all of us right now in that AFC North. But to me as a whole, what I'm trying to get to is, regardless of us winning those 2 games against 2 very flawed teams that are just like us, in terms of this team, in terms of the belief that as it's currently constructed, coaching staff, player-wise, that we can legitimately make noise, as you like to put it,
around.
I just don't believe that that's the case with this team. And if you're this coaching staff, I just don't understand how you can believe that, or if you're Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert, that we don't need to make changes to get those things going. Like, I personally don't feel like this, as it's currently constructed, is good enough.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Canada, only a year. Obviously, Butler's been around for a while. But that would be interesting to see how things play out in the offseason. Mm-hmm. Now, we do still have 2 more games.
We do, yeah.
Make the playoffs. Who knows what can happen. But, yeah, to your point, where we're at right now versus like a team like the Chiefs or maybe another couple teams in the AFC, like, we're not there yet.
And you feel the difference of a tier. And that's the only part where that's why I say, like, I do want us to make some changes. Because I do feel like early on it wasn't as defined. You can make the case, oh, no, man, we can hang with them. I think we could beat them. We can do that. But I've seen this performance by our team too many times now, especially this season.
Yeah, in a way, you're almost numb to what we did in the first half because it happened. Vikings game, not as much Chargers, but the score was kind of similar. They were up double-digit scores.
We weren't even, nobody panicked in the first half. Think about that. That's where we've come right now.
Yeah, it was just
down 3 scores, and bro, we're all right. This is what we do.
Going back to what you said last week, to call it embarrassing is fair. To get that beat up on defense like that, where they could just run the ball at will, and wow, you blink an eye and we're down 20 points. We're down 14-0 in the first half, just like that. It's like, I'm not even seeing some of these bad teams doing it, like the Jets and stuff. You know what I'm saying,
bro? And that's the part that's so frustrating. But yet we've become, like you said, numb to it because it's happened so many times, and we've been bailed out as well. Like, whether it's been defense, whether it's been the offense, whether it's been special teams, we found ways to bail ourselves out or make these frantic runs to make it interesting. And we feel almost like the high of a moral victory, but then we'll say, well, it still was a loss, and those are things we want to get out of it. But now it's just like, man, you're seeing it at this level, especially down the stretch where it gets tighter, where the details matter more and these victories matter a lot more. This style of play that we've been doing, that we've become accustomed to this season, is just hard to have sustained success with that.
Yeah, when you're giving up 14 points, double-digit leads, that's not a way to do
it. They're talking like, oh, man, well, yeah, it's the 5th game in a row now that, we haven't scored in the first half. First time we've done that since the 4th. I'm like, bro, what? Like, what are we doing? Like, this is crazy.
Someone brought up lifeless in the comments. I felt that way. Now, outside of the coordinators here, do you think Tomlin has potentially lost the locker room in a way, or like his voice is gone stale a little bit?
I don't think he's lost the locker room. The stale part, I am 50-50 on. When I think of stale, I think of like if we had a veteran group that's been here with him for a while, like with the Pens with their previous coach, right? It was like, yo, that group had been together for years. They had that same coach, and it was like, yo, they're just not responding to him. But with this group, we got a ton of new bodies, new faces. Now, granted, some of us through injury, some of us through free agency, but to me, I don't necessarily think that he's lost the locker room or that they went stale on him. But what I do think is he might need to, lay the hammer down. And what I mean by lay the hammer down is
changes,
right? Big changes sends messages to everyone in the organization. It lets all of us know that, hey, none of us are safe. It lets all of us know that what we've been doing, it's not good enough. It lets us all know that the status quo can no longer be the status quo. The standard is currently not the standard. And if he makes difficult decisions, coaching wise and player wise, I do feel the ripple effect gets the results that we want in terms of guys taking a lot more serious, in terms of guys throughout the week. The details are part of the work. I think that improves. But right now, there is a sense of comfort. There is a sense of, hey, man, what we've been doing, even though it's not the best, well, he ain't go bench us. He ain't go fire this guy. He ain't go do this. And that's been the case.
And that's fair mid-season, sure, because we talked about
because
Bush.
You're trying to win.
Who are we going to replace Bush with right now?
Spillane was out there. I ain't feel like it was that big of a difference, did you?
I'd rather have had Bush.
So
at least over these last 2 games.
But
Bush
I will say this,
better.
the biggest difference would have been what? It would have been 5 tackles versus 13?
Maybe a little better in coverage. Maybe.
Okay, so it would have been 7 tackles instead of 13.
Was it that drastic if we put Bush out there that our defensive performance is different? I get what you're saying.
I'm just simply saying, like, was it that big? Yeah, like if Bush is out there, do you think our defense was any better?
Are you surprised if it would be the same result if Bush was out there? Probably not. Is it a little bit better? Maybe.
I mean, coverage wise, you can make a case, maybe.
Well, with Bush, I think the whole conversation too at the time was Spillane was hurt. Like we were saying, can we replace Bush? Who can we replace him with? Yeah. And Spillane was even out because that would have made more sense at the time. But I think we only had like Buddy Johnson or like Marcus Allen available. Mm-hmm. But even there was talks about bringing in Buddy Johnson.
But I'll say this though, even in this past game,
he was inactive, right?
Yeah, but Buddy, Marcus Allen, and Devin Bush. But I will say this: Ulysses Gilbert was out there.
He was.
He got snaps. He could be a coverage guy, right? I mean, that's my thing. Like for everything that we quote unquote say that Devin would surefire bring to us, things that people have been saying all season that we still have not seen. I just don't feel like it would have been any different if he's out there versus Spillane or Schobert. I just don't think that any of those guys have done anything drastic to separate themselves. And that's the other reason why I say if you're talking about making changes at times, not saying that you make it now, but at a time, that would have been a change because I don't think that he was playing to that extent to have that long of a leash. But when you talk about potentially losing a locker room, you talk about guys going stale. Imagine if I'm a guy who's busting my tail all the time and I make one mistake, James Pierre, a couple mistakes, you yank me right on out the lineup. Devin Bush, you watch him play all season. What's he been looking like? But yet you give him every single opportunity. Not saying that is why guys have reacted or guys have lost interest in Coach C. Not saying that's the case or anything. But I'm not saying that I would be surprised if they were affected by those type of moves either.
Mixed signals.
Yeah, because it's like, how you going to get on me and bench me and tell me I'm not doing well? But we all know what this guy's doing. What's the difference? He was drafted 10th overall. I was undrafted. You see what I'm saying? Like, not saying that is the case. I want to be clear about that. Not saying that is the case.
That's just one example.
But that could be an example because it's human nature. That is a part of it.
Well, and we're seeing it with James Washington now, too.
Absolutely.
Did you see that?
I've seen it, man.
Like some pictures.
I've seen that. Hey, that social media get you, bro.
I checked this morning.
That social media get you.
He unliked them.
You're right.
What's interesting about that is I think all the fans would rather have him in than Ray McLeod.
I personally would. But once again, we can't, like, if you're James Washington right now, you could feel a little bit like James Pierre in a sense. Training camp, y'all weren't using me. I asked to get traded. Chase goes down, you keep me. You tell me I'm going to be here. Season comes around, trade deadline over, still heavy Chase. Now, Juju goes down, you put in Ray. Like, do you love me? You love me enough that you ain't want to trade me, but you don't love me enough to play me with Ray McLeod, who depth chart wise, when we were talking receivers, we never viewed Ray over James Washington. Right. But if you're James Washington, it's like, man, how do you, and that's one of the things I do say, I at least commend his professionalism. Because I've been in situations like that where, it sucks, bro. You coming in week after week and you're like, bro, are you for real right now? Like, But yeah, you expect me to come out here and give every effort in practice, show up on game day, be hype, do all the little things right, block, high five guys. It's like, yo, you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? When you 10, 12 weeks in and you feel like you're getting slighted continually after you've already voiced your displeasure, and the one guy that was quote unquote above you on the roster who's not even available in terms of Juju, right? Slot, he's not even there, and you're still not getting opportunities, you're still not getting targets. Yeah. Mixed signals again, right? Because you say to yourself, well, that guy ain't balling out. That guy did some bad stuff. You still let him play. Starting him, he gets targets, he gets opportunities. Why don't I get mine? Like, those are the things that can happen in the season. Like I said, I don't know if that is currently happening, but from my experiences, those things do happen.
Yeah, those are things that we're questioning from the outside looking in.
And then you throw in losing on top of it, and it just makes it the perfect storm of dysfunction.
Yeah, if James Washington, for him, the worst thing he did was like a couple pictures after we lost yesterday. Right. Yeah, he's been keeping it pretty professional throughout the year.
He's been chill, and he's had plenty of reasons to not be chill. Plenty of reasons to voice his displeasure. Plenty. But he continues to do what he's supposed to do. But that's just the dynamic at this level. And that's what you always hear when you hear me talk about politics. Politics at the NFL level. Some of that stuff is involved with it, whether it's a relationship between a coach and a player, whether it's draft stock, whether it's a GM's vision. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just are like, bro, this makes zero sense to me. I hate everything about this. And they just simply say some things are above you. Some things are above, football. And that's where he's like, all right, it's management. All right, this is a decision from up top. You can't control it.
We good on offense, defense. I had another thing I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, and then after that, we can get to these chats too, man, because we definitely see y'all in the chat, man. Y'all are heavy, and we're going to get to y'all. Obviously, yesterday was a lot. So you see, we got a lot that we had to talk about. But we are definitely going to get to these chats, and we obviously got to hit the phone lines too. So don't you fret. I promise you, don't you fret.
New punter?
Okay, so I ain't want to bring it up because I didn't know if it was too soon.
Right. Yeah, obviously,
that was the only thing, bro.
Obviously, condolences to Presley and his family.
Major condolences to Presley. Yeah, man, that was
sad.
For those that don't know, I mean, obviously, it's been pretty much out there. We know last game, that Titans game, Presley Harvin had his father out there who was terminally ill. His last chance to see him play. Obviously, we know how that performance went and things like that. But then he finds out that his father passed away. I think he made the announcement on Christmas Day. I don't know if it was necessarily on Christmas. But I know he made the announcement during that time frame. So, yeah, it's tragic. I mean, it sucks anytime you lose a family member, especially a father. I can only imagine what that would be like. I don't even want to imagine that.
Oh, that'd be
so
terrible.
Definitely putting our thoughts and prayers with him. But the other part,
well, I was gonna say it's probably too early to say punting competition or something like that. Too early for that, but I think we could at least commend his punting.
Can we acknowledge him? Yes, because I thought
two really good punts.
Punted really well. The second one, I feel like the return man misjudged it because it landed on the 10. He's supposed to catch that as. That's your rules as a return man. Hills on the 10. Hills on the 10. Catch it on the 10. If you got to back up, let it go. So he should have quit. He just misjudged it. And then it would have been even better. You know what I mean? But I thought that he came in and played well. I thought that he punted with really good confidence. I like his placement. I like his power. And just the simple fact there was no shanks. And that's the thing. Like, when we talk about it, and it's touchy because obviously the personal element for Presley, but at the professional level, we have to kind of take that out when we're evaluating. And the big thing with Presley, because I know people say, "Oh, y'all booed this man," and his dad was out there, his dad passed. And it's like people weren't booing. I don't think you booed him either. We ain't booing, but it's like people weren't booing him because
you're not talking about him personally.
Personally, it's like the performance part when you see.
And no one knew that at the time.
Yeah,
anyway.
And that's the other part. I'm like, bro, y'all killed me with that.
That came out after the game.
Yeah, but it's like his performance was wildly inconsistent at times this season, and a lot of the shanks, things that we would get mad with Barry doing. And I mean, it's funny when we look back, it's like Barry, even though he would have it was more so not a ton, but just horrible moments.
Yeah, the one in the Washington games, the one I remember
it was just like
last year.
Horrible moments that he would do it. Whereas with Presley, it does seem like it happens more often. But like I said, it's hard. You got to separate them. You know what I mean? Because it's like we get the personal element, and yes, it could have an effect 100%. But as a professional, and I speak from experience, guys, as a guy who's had to deal with some hardships during a game, during a season, it's like you have to be able to separate. When you come to work, that's one of the things we say at the Steelers facility all the time, man. Leave your problems at the door. If you got issues with your wife, your kids, people ill, whatever it is, as jacked up as it sounds, you have to leave it at the door, because otherwise it will affect your preparation, which then affects your play.
People are counting on you.
Right. And that's the thing. And it's like, okay, if you're a coach or you're a GM, how much sympathy and empathy can you extend to a guy who's playing bad, but you know he's struggling because of this. But yet at the same time, with him struggling, that affects your team. If that affects your team, that affects your employment. That affects your employment, affects your livelihood, your family, and so on and so forth. You got that dynamic. So it's like, I get it. It sucks. But at the same time, it's like, you can see how it's affecting so much because of the professionalism with it and because the stakes are so high at the NFL level, right? We talk about winning games, and special teams does matter. I just hope that for Presley, man, like, he can use this situation hopefully to motivate him as well. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, you're dealing with your dad, and that's crazy tough, crazy tough. We see even with Tua dealing with some of that stuff as well, right?
Who knows? He might not even be back this season or this week. Who knows how long the grieving process will be for him? And everyone's got their own timeline for that.
Yeah, and that's the part where I'm just like, I just hope that he at least gets another opportunity. You know what I mean? To, like, feel better about his performance, right? Because it's, as a player, like, you never want your last time being out there. Like, if it was a bad problem, like, you're gonna think about that a lot. And now you throw in losing your father, it just piles on and piles on. That's the part for me where I'm just like, I hope that he can mentally get in a better place. He can get himself at least some positivity, because right now it's got to be feeling like, man, this, and now you get, you know, Corliss come in, he punts well as well. That adds to it, you know it does, because you're like, dang, I'm struggling, lost my pop. Guy comes in, he plays well, like, you know. So that's the thing where I'm just like, I hope for him personally he can get that thing together. But it was good to see Corliss come in and have some success.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for that. Boz, missed the one.
36 too, bro.
Do you know there was wind in that stadium? Romo, I think Romo forgot to mention it.
You sure it was a lot of wind? I thought it was like 30-mile-an-hour winds or something like that, right? Yeah.
Well, the Chiefs kicker, he shanked the one. Holy hell. But then, Boz
he hit for what, 44? His one? Yeah.
Yeah, their kicker wasn't bad. He came up off the streets,
and that was the backup.
Too.
Like, not even a backup. Like you said, off the streets, man.
He wasn't that bad at all. And then, Boz, I don't know, he made some kicks, but then obviously he missed the one. Yeah. But at the same time, we didn't really put ourselves in any position where the kicks at the end of the day mattered that much. Maybe the coverage, you could say, on the one. I think it was his first kick. Waitman's first punt.
We had the return.
Was a little bit less than optimal. But special teams, I think, was the least of our worries in yesterday's game.
How'd you feel about Ray Ray's returns, though?
I'm trying to think if I remember them. I don't think they were bad.
Yeah, I thought he had one nice one. Nothing like...
It's the Ray Ray of old. Consistent 10 or 15 yards, and he makes the catch.
Look very fast. Yeah, man.
I think they even mentioned that he leads the league in return yards. I can't remember if it's specifically punting, but also kicking.
Yeah. Because I have been liking that about him.
That's kind of surprising to me, just because he doesn't have like one big one, or even a return for a touchdown.
But then it's funny though. Sometimes I think of these one-off guys that do have returns for a touchdown, but then you watch like them play in and play out as return men, and it's nowhere near as effective. Or you even think about Deontay, right? Deontay, explosive once he gets the ball in his hands as a returner, but at times we saw him as a returner
going backwards.
Right, going backwards with the ball security stuff. So it's just, to find like that complete total package return man, sometimes it's very hard. But I do think that Ray at least did that well. And that's the part I love about Ray Ray's game. I love Ray Ray as a returner. I love Ray Ray as a situational or a extra receiver. I just don't like Ray Ray as the featured receiver or the
I don't
guy
think anyone does.
That's my biggest issue with Ray Ray.
I think that's something we can all come together on.
I like Ray Ray. I love Ray Ray as a return man. I love Ray Ray as your fourth or fifth receiver. Love him. You can even put him in the backfield. I don't care. I love him in all those veins. I do not like him at slot receiver getting targets and playing 70 snaps, like 70% of it. I don't like that. That's where I draw the line, man.
That's not something I thought I'd be seeing this year.
Yeah, man.
It's definitely been a disappointment. One more thing before we get to the chat. How about Romo? I think we were down 30 at some point. I forget what the exact score was. It wasn't like 4 minutes left. He's like, if they get this one, they need this one. They need this one if there's gonna be a chance. I'm like, what?
Like, Romo, stop it, bro.
Are you trolling or being serious? Either way, it is hilarious. But jeez, oh man.
Yo, that is funny, man. Yeah, I definitely heard that.
There's 4 minutes left in the game.
But Romo, you could tell Romo was gunshot. Like, not gunshot. He had the PTSD though, in the sense of he was like, "Yo, I saw the Vikings game. We saw him do this. We saw him do this game. I mean,
he must have thought it was the third quarter or something.
Yeah, because he figured like it happens a lot.
Because there's no way. 4 minutes left. We were down 30.
No, that was pretty funny, bro. I definitely heard him say that. That was pretty funny, man. Now, somebody's name that keeps coming up in the regular chat, not the supers, because we're going to get to those right after this. They keep bringing up Kendrick Green.
Oh, man.
Whew. Now, that was an interesting day for Kendrick. I'll be interested to see, especially throughout the week, how things play out, because he obviously got taken out the lineup, and it was some speculation, was he benched or was he hurt? After the game, Coach T said he was hurt.
I can't buy that
But during
anymore.
the game, he never popped up as,
No, they never said it on the broadcast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I never saw him on the broadcast. I never saw anything pop up saying that Kendrick Green was injured and he's not returning. We know when guys get hurt, what do? They let the people know, and they put it up on the screen. They put it up on the scoreboard. Everybody knows the guy's hurt. We never saw that with Kendrick. And then at the end, once again, when Coach T is doing his, oh yeah, everybody's healthy, everybody's good to go. Well, we saw Green wasn't out there. What happened? What was it? Performance related? Health. He just left it at that, or something like injury or whatever he said it was. Like, he's just like,
yeah, I'm not buying that.
I ain't buying that all the way, man.
Who came in for him? Because I did see JC
it was
out there.
At center. Yeah, I thought JC went in at center. We had LeGlue still at I want to say LeGlue was at the left.
Didn't Hay get out there too?
Hay came in for Trey Trey Turner, because Trey went down. And now we knew Trey got hurt though, because I want to say what Trey was. It might have been a knee. I remember when Trey, like, it was clear, like, okay, Trey is hurt. This guy's in for Trey. Like, that was fine. We get that. But yeah, I never remembered anything being said about Kendrick Green getting hurt. And that was the part where I was like, all right, if you're benching him, this is the part where I say, if you're benching him, let it be known. Because number one, he's a young player. We already said with young players, they don't get the same type of leniency. They don't get the same type of pleasantries that you might allot to a Chase Claypool, that you might allot to a James Washington, an older guy, right? Nah, with Kendrick, sometimes you have to send messages to the young guys, let them know this is what we do here. This is our level. This is our standard. You can't sugarcoat that sometimes with younger players. And for me, it's like, like I said, he could truly be hurt. And if he is the case, all right, cool. I still think you need to have this conversation, though. You know what I mean? Like,
you definitely
because
do.
His play just
doesn't look like he knows what he's doing half the time.
And that's my thing. I'm like, okay, you're dealing with games where, is it going to be the snap issues this week? Is it going to be run blocking this week? Is it going to be pass protection this week? Like, we just never know but we know it's going to be an issue. And
I'm always seeing dudes fly by.
Yeah, fly bomb, push him back. I love his effort once he's getting up and he's running. Like, you always see him, like, he run hard. He
made the nice tackle.
He does that, but it's just like, man, at this stage in the season, what could we potentially have done? What could we have done differently? That's the question, right? Or what can we do differently?
It's JC now. That's about it for these last two games. I think it's time to put JC. Yeah. And sucks that Dotson's still been hurt. I thought he was going to come back this week.
Yeah, man.
But that didn't happen. Yeah, get JC in there. Put Dotson at left guard. Yeah. I think Trey, if he's healthy, keep him at right guard.
Yeah, if Trey's healthy, definitely keep him.
I mean, there was no chance of Banner coming back last week, but now we've been talking about the whole Banner coming back. Man, we have two games left,
bro. Yeah.
It's 2 games left, so I'm not even holding out any hope. Yeah. It's just going to be Dan Moore at left tackle, choose it right.
Well, and shoot, with Banner, he's still on the COVID list right now.
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't even come back for this Chiefs game.
Seriously. So
if that was even a possibility.
Yeah, that's the part, though, for me. I'm just like, when we talk about could you lose the locker room, we talk about could guys respond differently.
Yeah, some of these personnel moves haven't made complete sense throughout the year.
Right. Now imagine, just imagine if you were O-lineman, say you're a backup O-lineman, and you feel like you should get the opportunity. And you're watching Kendrick, and you're just like, bro, why does he get this long leash? It's third round. It's not like he was
Who's
the first
the two
round.
guys? It'd be JC or BJ.
You know what I mean? Like, but you could easily be like, man, we've seen both of those guys have to play multiple games for us here in Pittsburgh for multiple years now. We've never felt it look like that, though. And that's part of the thing where I'm like, okay, if you're those players, how do you stay motivated every day? Now, they do it because they're professional. I know BJ personally, that's my guy. Like, he's a professional. He's going to show up. He's going to do what he's supposed to do. He's not going to complain publicly. He's never going to do that, right? And that's what you're supposed to do as a professional. But just think about how hard that is, man. When I've done this before. I may not be bouncy, but I've done this before. I've never looked like that before. But yet, I've never gotten that type of leash. I've never gotten those type of opportunities continually. It just sends a mixed signal of what are we trying to accomplish here? Are we trying to protect villains? Are we trying to look good as a organization because it's a draft pick?
Yeah, they were draft picks.
Or are we trying to win? Are we trying to do whatever it takes to put the best guys out there to make us look respectable, to give Ben a chance, for crying out loud. I mean, that's the other part. I'm like, I critique Ben, and it's like, at times, yes, Ben does have his issues, right? Some of the ball play, some of the accuracy stuff, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you watch what it's in, right at the center spot, right? I don't even care about the tackles or the guards right now, but just at the center spot, like the simplest of spots. Not in terms of like to do it, but I'm just saying
that's a straight line to the quarterback.
It's a straight line to the quarterback. Yeah. Like, we gotta at least get that part right.
Because with the edge, you can step up a little bit, move around.
Yeah, but I'm like, they're like, yo, we don't have that type of luxury. And it's not like Ben is a mobile guy at this stage either. That, man, it's like, how long do you have to keep seeing the same things to realize that, hey, this guy's incapable of doing that this season? Maybe it changes in the offseason. Maybe it changes in OTAs. But right now, this isn't cutting it. And it's been going on for a whole season now. A whole season.
Yeah. We're 2 games left. Yeah. Now, I get it. You don't want to be changing dudes throughout the season left and right. You want to maybe try to keep some continuity. Like, okay, he had a bad game or 2 here or there, but he's going to step it up, go on a better stretch. But I think with 2 games left, we haven't seen that.
Not at all, bro. Yeah.
With us still having a playoff chance like this, it's time to make some type of change. It really is. It's got to be some type of breaking point.
I would agree. Unfortunately, I would agree. But the real question is, do we think that happens right now? I don't. I think they're going to ride it until
Kendrick Green next week.
Personally, if he's healthy, and this is boring, going off what Coach Tomlin
maybe just
said.
Go conspiracy, fake injury on the injury report.
If he pops up as limited or DNP at any day this week, cool. I'll buy it. If I don't see him as limited or DNP this week, oh, buddy.
We're running it back.
Yeah, bro. But that's my issue right now. Yeah.
Oh, it's the big issue. Yeah, the O-line.
That's my issue,
and the defensive line. It's stuff
like,
we've been talking about these past 3 or 4 weeks.
And that's the thing. It's like, here we are, 2 games left. Same issues that we've been talking about since OTA, since training camp.
Our record's awesome at home, though. Mm-hmm. Should be 6-0. I think it's 5-0-1 over the past 6 times we've been there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we should win this one against the Browns.
We should. Yeah. Oh, and they said Tomlin said he had a calf. That's what it was. It's like, was he pulled because of performance or was it injury? Calf. That's what it was.
Just straight up calf.
Calf. It's like, oh, all right.
All right, want me to hit these supers?
Yeah, let's get them rolling, man.
Brian Knepp. Do the Steelers?
Oh, you got the whole. I think
so.
Set. Let me see where you at. Hold on.
We'll see. It might jump on me.
No, bro, you're good. Yeah, you're good.
It might after this one. Though.
I didn't realize how many supers had popped in. I saw them pop up out the corner, but I was so focused on our convo, man.
Yeah, we had a good convo.
Yeah.
Do the Steelers still have a shot to make the playoffs? Actually, we still have a pretty decent shot.
Man, they might even mess around. Nah, they ain't going that division, but
I think. The Bengals have to lose the next 2.
Yeah, they have to lose next 2. We win the next 2.
That's it. That's very doable. Bengals play the Chiefs. Yeah. And then Bengals play the Browns. The problem with that last game is if we beat the Browns, are they not playing for anything outside of just being the spoiler? And I've seen it happen before.
Yeah,
they beat them before too.
I'll say this, man. That whole narrative of teams not having stuff to play for.
You're playing for jobs at least.
They're going to play for jobs. They're going to play for their checks. They're going to play for their livelihood. But if you start fast, those teams will quit.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But if you don't start fast, they're going to be a dogfight. It's no different. We saw that when we played Cleveland the year where they had, 0 wins. We had to go to overtime, right? Juju returns the kick for a touchdown, all that stuff.
We had Landry in.
Right, but either way, right? They weren't going to play with such effort if we would have jumped up 2-3 scores early on. What I'm saying is because it was a close game the whole time, it made them feel inspired because regardless of the winning, regardless of the playoffs and your records, when you're in the moment, when you're actually out there in the game, you don't want to get
manhandled.
Right. You're not thinking about records. You're not thinking about score. You're thinking about, I want to beat this guy across from me. And it's more of the competitive nature, right? Just, I want to be better than you. And when you give that guy that chance to feel like he can one-up you, he going to keep fighting. He going to keep staying in it. But if you can take his heart early, man, he can be like, bro, all right,
you beat us.
You got us. All right, we suck. We know what it is. All right, I'm going to just get up out of here healthy. That's the difference. You know what I mean? So
you saw with the Texans against the Chargers. That was a big win.
Prime example.
That was a big win.
And let's be real. The Texans ain't fighting for nothing. What they playing for? 0. But you give them a chance. You give them a little hope. What they do? They on there dancing, partying on the sidelines with you, right? That's why you say you got to make it look like that, though.
Yeah, that Texans win was big against the Chargers. I mean,
they're on the outside looking in right now, too.
Yeah, Chargers, Raiders. Like, there is still a chance for even the wild card because of that Chargers loss. I mean, Raiders are ahead of us now after that win, but they have a couple tough games left too. So yeah, I think we're still very much in. We got to win the last two. We do need some help, but it's very possible.
The first thing that we have to do is take care of business. We can't get to without winning one first. And I'm just glad that of the two, it's Cleveland first. I know people, oh man, that's backwards. Why would you want Cleveland first? I personally just feel like mentally we play differently versus Cleveland. Whereas with Baltimore, I don't know. I just feel like at times, man, like them games get a little iffy. It's more of a coin flip, regardless of who's out there. As we've seen even a year ago with the COVID game, like, bro, it's just one of them things. Our matchup with them, the coaching staff, everything is just a different type of atmosphere.
Did you watch
type
that
of
one
game,
yesterday?
bro. I did.
Burrow running it up.
I did, bro.
He definitely was running it up.
I did. They were sending a message, bro. You know what they was doing? You on, man?
This is a little classless.
They said, hey, bro, I was trying to say they was gonna put 60 up, man. They would say, bro, say, yo, I'm gonna take you back to Baton Rouge real quick. Let me take you down to the.
Did you hear his interview? Did you hear his reasoning?
I didn't stay for that.
I guess someone asked the Ravens coach about Burrow, and they said, like, I wouldn't put a gold jacket on him yet or something. So then they asked Burrow about that after the game. We're like, did those comments, like, stick with you? He's like, yeah, maybe.
Just trying to, just see if I was gold jacket worthy. That's all.
He said, yeah, the comments are fair because, like, I still have a lot of career left. You can't do that. But then they're like, did that impact your performance today? Yeah. He's like, yeah, maybe.
Just a little bit,
Damn. Xavier Cunningham. Anthony McFarland / James Washington over Ray Ray. He ain't it. Canada is a dummy solidified.
Oh, man.
He is a dummy. He solidified it with that pitch. O-line is hot doo-doo. Banner needs to play. TJ, Cam, Minka are only spots safe. Butler time is up. Deshaun Watson, number one option.
Man, you hit a lot right there, Xavier.
Yeah, that's just something you're just firing everything off that's on your chest.
That is a lot. I mean, we talked about Canada's issues this season, or especially yesterday. Yeah, I can agree. I don't want to call him a dummy. I'm not a name caller like that. But yeah, I did not agree with the pitch play. More so, like I talked about the details of the style of call, right? The personnel related with it, just not the best. O-line, yeah. Banner, yeah, but as Deke already said, and I'm kind of falling into the trap with Deke that we don't believe that Banner is going to get that opportunity these next 2 weeks. Yeah, you hit the three. I would also like throw Highsmith in there with your three guys on defense you think are safe. TJ, Cam, Minka. I'll throw Highsmith in there too. I think that he's played consistently enough this season. I think that he's shown his growth and development more so as a pass rusher too, because I always felt like he could play the run. I wasn't worried about setting the edge, but you want to see, can guys consistently win, and guys consistently winning versus left tackles. That's not an easy thing to do, man. Left tackles are your best offensive linemen. That's why it was kind of like, it's crazy when you see like the TJ and Highsmith dynamic, because typically your stud pass rusher is going against your left tackles, right? But with Highsmith, man, he has been, like I said, I think that he's
had a good season.
I would say the same.
A lot of people are shitting on him though online,
but I think it's because of he doesn't have these gaudy sack numbers. But when you watch
ton of tackles for loss,
but you see the pressure that he is creating. That's the one thing that
2
or
or 3
notice.
sacks he should have had this year too.
Absolutely. So I do feel like for him, I think he has been playing well.
Okay, I think the chat did jump on me. This might have to be you. I'm at Let's Go UW with a gold.
Oh, yeah, you ought to be at the bottom. All right, no worries. All right, I got Alan T. Alan T says, people are so quick to blame Tomlin for everything. As much as I think Kansas City is an incredible game, this season is on him. We always skip on top free agents. Oh, as much as I think KC has an incredible GM, this season is on him.
Kevin Colbert.
Yeah, that's what it's got to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. I was like,
City.
yo, am I reading this wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, good call. As much as I think Kevin Colbert is an incredible GM, this season is on him. We always skip on top free agents and think the draft can solve all our problems. Well, yeah, we did see that, but at the same time,
we made the Melvin Ingram move. That was a good move.
And then we brought in Trey Turner. I thought that was a good move. So I don't necessarily agree with that. I do think that there are more players that we could have been more aggressive. We could say that, but I don't think these past 2 years, I think that we've done a good job of going out, like Steven Nelson, for example.
Ebron was one.
I thought that was a good one. Yeah, like we have shifted. I don't think we're as aggressive as we would like to be, but I do think we have become players in free agency, at least that part. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest criticism, and we talked about this, was addressing the O-line maybe a little sooner than he should have.
I think we went about that
just was
terribly.
a huge fall-off point.
Yeah,
Now, I don't know, is that we draft Creed Humphrey in the second round this year?
Hey, man, Creed looked out yesterday.
Is that we draft instead of like Claypool in the second round in years past, an offensive lineman, but at the same time, with the guys that we had, you thought they were going to be around forever, which they weren't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's the one criticism of, like, I wish our line was better at this point.
Yeah. I just hope that they take that.
Maybe even bringing Steven Nelson back.
You know what I mean? Like, I just,
not having Steven Nelson.
We got to get this O-line, though. We got to get that better. Oh, man. It's going to be fun this offseason, though. Like, we're not there yet, and that's the part where I was like, we don't need to rush it, but
no.
It's going to be plenty to discuss with that part, man, in terms of how we go about improving it, man.
There will be. And with players that are secure, if we bring back Akello, I'd be pumped for that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cam Sutton's going to be back, too.
I also would want Edmonds, but I got to see the number. I want to see the price point with that.
5 or 6. Yeah. That's enough.
Like I said, I like that number
for like
for
a
him.
3 or 4 year deal.
And I personally don't think that he would trip on that. Whereas, like, when you talk about that number for Joe, I think that's a little bit more of a disrespect to Joe. Whereas, like, for Edmonds, I'm like, that's decent for Edmonds because Edmonds has shown that he's good, just not great. You know what I mean? Really good tackling, ball skills, still got to continue to improve. And he has been improving, but it's like, it's just a different style of player. He's never going to be your Minka, turnover magnet, explosive play guys. But you still need guys like him to have successful teams. So I want him back.
Oh, and he's got his spot locked up here with how we run our defensive system.
Yeah,
he's getting 100% of snaps, whereas if you go somewhere else, can you get lost in the shuffle?
Yeah,
playing 50%, they're trying to move you around and stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
So it works for us. It works for him. Hopefully we get a deal.
All right. Darius Mayo, he says, what's up, fellas? Moats, did you have a problem with the decision with Rudolph getting the reps with 2 minutes left instead of the beginning of the fourth quarter when the game is already decided? Now, I wanted to actually listen to Coach Tomlin. He talked on this and Ben because they brought up how in the Bengals game, when the game was out of hand, they left Ben in there. Ben played, finished the whole game out. This game, they obviously pulled Ben. Now, the debate that happened, Ben essentially says that after they had, I guess...
This was after this game?
Yeah, it was after this game. Yeah, after this game right here. After this game. Because he said Bengals game, he said he just wanted to stay out there. And the coach staff let him. Said this game in the fourth, I guess like at the beginning of the fourth, they had like that series where they went, it might have been 3-0. It was a bad series or whatever. And Coach Tomlin wanted to take him out then. And Ben was like, no, he wants to stay. He wants to finish. So he let Ben go back out there for one more series. And then he essentially was like, you don't get a choice in this. You're out. And he just put Mason in. And that to me was a little surprise because typically we haven't seen a lot of Coach Tomlin just dictating to Ben. Usually is if Ben wants to do this, Ben can do that, right? So that part was a little interesting to me. But from there, did the timing of Mason, would I've liked to see him earlier? I really don't have an issue either way because of how this team has been playing. We know, okay, they've had fourth quarters where that Vikings game, they're down 3 scores and they get a spark. So I didn't mind Ben getting those opportunities because if he scores on one of those drives, it changes the game. It changes the momentum.
Fumble the kickoff
right.
Or
anything can happen.
Happens.
Right. But it's like once you realize that wasn't going to happen, I was cool with them putting Mason in as well because it's like, man, what's the point of us continuing to put Ben out there, letting him get hit, making him look worse sometimes than what he probably is? It's just like, I don't need to see that at that part of the game. I would much rather see Mason, you know what I mean? Mason, go out there and get some reps. Maybe you surprise us. And I thought, hey, man, he did some good things. Now, granted, we know you have to account for the situation, the circumstance, the personnel. But it was like, you know what? At least you came in and looked competent. Cool. But that's my whole thing with it. I didn't have a strong stance on whether he should have been in there earlier or if Ben should have been able to finish the game. Yeah, that was my whole thing. I just wanted to make sure you got out healthy.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that, too. I didn't have a strong stance. Maybe you could have thrown Mason in a series earlier.
Yeah.
Because the main thing you're thinking about is just Ben's health.
Right,
you don't want him to get banged up even more. But then at the same time, if Ben wants to stay out there, try to get the offense some momentum, maybe that carries over to next week, then so be it. So I'm with you. Same exact standpoint.
Well, you know what they said, though, right?
What?
They said that Ben wanted to go back out there because, it's that last ride, bro. They said it's the first game he's had the whole family, man. And I mean, I've been 4 years. I've never seen him bring the whole family.
They were talking about him soaking everything in, just looking around.
Hey, thank you, Seven. Thank you, Seven.
I did hear that.
Thank you,
I'm
Seven.
just like,
I've already saw it in the
damn.
comments. Thank you, Seven. Thank you, Seven. That was the vibe that I was getting. I was like, ooh. And wifey pointed out to me because I ain't even peep it at first. She was like, dang, is that Ashley and the kids and the
I don't know away game.
She was like, I ain't never seen all them at the away game. And I was like, you're right, we haven't. And they were like, well, no, they were in LA. It was like, not all of them. No, not all of them were there. It's like, oh man. Whew. Thank you, Seven.
Maybe it was a Christmas trip.
Thank you, Seven.
Yeah, because the LA game wasn't around Christmas.
Well, I will say, and this is the other part, I was like, man, we played on Christmas in Houston before. They weren't out there for that one either. They weren't out there for that one at all. That was Christmas Day. And Houston's a very fine city. I will say this firsthand. It's a very mighty fine city, baby. Mighty fine city. They weren't out there for that though, man. Oof. That definitely made it hit a little different when I saw it. I was like, oh, Lord, maybe this is real. Maybe this is... Oh. Thank you, Seven. I instantly thought of you. I was like, oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I was trying to say if he had you in the suite, too. If you would have been in the suite, oh, I said, it was a wrap. He's retiring. It's over. I said, let me see if Deke is in the back getting the brewskis. Where are the White Claws at? That's what I said. If I see a White Claw here, what they say? She had a White Claw on her nightstand. She must be messing with Deke. That's what I would have known if I would have saw the White Claw. Yo, Deke is there. Somewhere Deke is there. Yeah, man.
Damn. Yeah, I heard all that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Those Schefter reports from like a month ago.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago.
Oh, man. Whew.
You know, I don't like the sound of it.
Whew. Thank you, Seven. Shout out to TJ. He brought it to Thank You, Seven. That's going to be a thing now, man. Thank you, Seven, bro. Thank you, Seven.
Is that his thing, or did he hear that from somewhere else?
I don't know if he heard him say he's that first time I heard was when he said it to you.
But the chat picked it up.
Yeah,
huh?
Chat picked it up now, man. Thank you, Seven.
Damn.
All right. Cliff the Dark Knight. He says, with Adrian Clem out after the season. Damn, they just fired that man on the spot.
Oh, wait, no. You didn't hear.
I did not.
He's going to Oregon.
Oh, you're right. So, you know me, I'm on my detox. I'll
That's
be
good.
on.
That's good for you.
I did hear the rumblings. I didn't know if they were rumors or not. Though.
I think that's just rumors.
That's what
it's not official.
Right.
Yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I haven't heard it was official. Because I know obviously. Dang, who's this? I'm tripping.
They asked Butler about it. I think they asked Butler about it, and he was like, "I don't know anything."
Yeah, because
about
I saw that's what had been the name then. Because I saw him, and I was another person that I saw like pop up, and I was like, "Yo, this gotta be a rumor." I ain't really, yeah. But yeah, he said with Adrian Clem out after the season, Moats, what would you be looking for in an offensive line coach? Also, what moves are you making to the line? Any position switches? Do you want more agile guys versus power guys? Well, I always laugh anytime we throw the Munchak moniker out there because Denver right now, for example, right? When we played that O-line, who was the O-line coach out there? Munchak. We ain't felt like, man, we got to be scared of that O-line.
Tremonte's been doing good for them, though.
I agree. I do agree with that. And I also think about Munchak when he was in Tennessee. It's like, I feel like it was the perfect storm when Munchak was here. And I love Munchak, man. Munchak was that dude. But the thing is, it was like, not only was he a great coach, but he also had great talent here. Right now, even if Munchak is here, I don't think we have the talent necessary to get it to where we want it. So in terms of what I'll be looking for in an O-line coach, man, a guy that a lot of the principles like Munchak, very attention to detail, a guy that loves to work also. Like Munchak was one of those guys, you're going to see him with his whole offensive line unit out there before practice, getting work in. You see those guys in individual, we would call them the cannibals because we're like, man, in individual, you're going against your own guys. So it's like, if I'm an outside linebacker, I'm going up against TJ. Bud's going against Jarvis. Debo going against this guy. You know what I mean? Well, we all know each other. So what are we going to do? I'm going to work you, but I'm not trying to kill you. I'm a, back and forth. We good. We got that bond. If I'm going against the O-line, I'm going to try to kill them. That's what you're supposed to do. Nah, under Munchak, man, them dudes over there trying to kill each other. I'm like, Pouncey, why are you hitting BJ Finney like he's Ndamukong Suh? You know what I mean? Like, why is Marcus Gilbert slamming Mike Adams to the ground right now? Like, what are we doing here? But that intensity, that mentality, it would carry over. And that's what we called them, the goons. That was their new nickname. It was like, y'all are cannibals in practice, but we know y'all are also goons because if y'all doing that to each other, imagine when we get out here on Sunday what y'all going to do. And obviously it looked like that. So I would definitely want a person that has that. But then in terms of the personnel, as much as I would love one or the other, right? Power versus agile. I think first off, we got to decide coordinator wise what our approach is. Because Kendrick Green, right? Back? Because to me, Kendrick Green is perfect if you're talking a zone blocking scheme, because you want small guys that are agile, position blocks. But it's a different style of play call. It's a different style of runs. You can't call power style runs, downhill point of attack where you got to blow a guy off the ball runs with guys that are built to zone block, that are built to be faster, quicker, pull. You know what I mean? And then vice versa. You don't want a ton of power guys and you're running a scheme where it's a lot of lateral. You got to move quickly because those guys don't fit. But if we don't know coordinator wise what we're going to do, then how do you fix the personnel? Because you're going to end up with Canada and Ben, where you got one who's this style and one who's this style. And you can see how they're trying to make it work, but it's like, hey, circle versus square. They just don't mesh. And that's part of the thing where you're talking about creating or, I guess, upgrading or making changes to the offensive line. Those are part of the things that I do feel like complicates it a little bit. Because it doesn't help us to bring in a ton of powered O-linemen when we're still going to be going lateral. And these guys need to pull because they can't do that. You know?
Yeah. Right off the bat, outside of the scheme, I'm thinking Dotson. Mm-hmm. Oh, who knows if Turner's coming back or not, too.
I mean, he was on a 1 year.
Re-sign him?
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to bringing him back for a year. Mm-hmm. But Dotson back, damn, I mean, he's really it. He's the only one I think you want to talk about whose jobs are secure.
See? So
that's really it for me. Dotson, and then if you want to re-sign Turner, I think they're safe. But then Chooks at right tackle, center, and then left tackle. Yeah. Bro, I think first 2 rounds, honestly, we should draft left tackle and center.
Yeah.
And then if you want to have Banner at right tackle,
I'm not going to lie, though.
Give him a chance.
I'm kind of nervous with Dotson. Not in the sense of his play, but in the sense of how do I keep him pissed? Because I do feel like when he's pissed, he plays better.
Think there's something to those rumors and reports and stuff.
Okay. You watch the same film I watch. We talk about the same players. We've seen times we're like, bro, all right. But then when he's under fire, it's like, yo, he's killing people out here. Baby, just take a guy in the 5th round. All right. Take somebody just to piss him off. I'm dead serious, bro. I am so serious because I
have
do
people
feel
talking
like,
about this left guard,
bro. Because I do feel like there was a difference with him, bro. When he feels like, yo, he has to prove something, he's pissed off. It looks like that. Whereas when they're all telling, hey, man, you that guy, you good, don't worry about it. You ain't got... We saw. I don't want. Just bring a guy in.
Veteran, maybe.
Just bring a guy in, bro.
Veteran.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Just a guy. Just eat enough where he has to respect it enough, but he knows that, yo, I'm better than this guy.
Or maybe just keep pumping out those DK reports or something.
Just enough. That's all, man.
DK needs to have one of those reports like tuned up for every quarter of the season.
Yeah. Just enough to keep him going, man. Because I feel like if we can do that, he'll be money. He'll be good. I just worry about sometimes like, yo, are you getting a little complacent? Don't get complacent on me, all right? I understand you have potential to be a decatcher, but you're not that right now. You got to work. You know what I mean?
Well, we're going to have cap space too. Yeah. So cornerback's obviously going to be another need, inside linebacker. Yeah. So where do we allocate the free agent money? Right. Then that goes into who we draft. So you're right in terms of like this offseason, there's probably going to be a ton of stuff to be talking about.
Absolutely. All right. We got Barilla 92. And let me see, it's what, 10:43? Perfect. All right. Let me get through these real quick then. Barilla 92 says, I feel like Claypool could have had a 150-yard game. He was one-on-one most of the game, but no targets. Still feeling Muth over Creed?
Well, we did say last podcast that, you know what, for this season, for sure, Creed would benefit us much more because the run game would probably be better, which would help the passing game. Do we necessarily need Muth to be helping the passing game as opposed to just Ben being back there and having time? But long term, I feel like Pat could be such a difference maker long term too. So I'm not writing him off. I think they're both gonna be really good players. Creed just come on really strong at the beginning here, so he could be a staple for. I think he's the safer pick now too, and would have been the more impactful for this season. But like if Pat could get into that Kelsey Gronk type of range, that's a huge mismatch for defense.
I would agree with that. I definitely would. But the only thing I caution the team is just. You do have to get your protection in order because we did see that with the Kansas City Chiefs when they were healthy in the Super Bowl. All the weapons they had, it didn't matter because they couldn't protect. And that's kind of like I understand where people are with that move versus creed thing because of that element. It's still early right now, and obviously the team can make adjustments next year, right? Free agency, draft, addressing the O-line, but I do think they have to get that part square.
They have to
make this pick look good.
You can't have my mentality from last season for this offseason.
Yeah.
You can't.
I'm like, if you go another
they were
year,
thinking too
2
much
years,
like me, maybe.
But so you go another year, 2 years of putting
You
the
can't.
O-line on the back burner, we're going to be looking at move like, you're great, but you're not impactful because we can't get you the ball. And that's the part for me where I'm like, we definitely got to make that an emphasis this offseason.
100%.
Man. All right. Got Damon Brown. Shout out to Damon Brown. He says, we played like we were trying to tank for a better draft spot last night. We need everything in the upcoming draft. Should we expect to have a couple more bad seasons? Can we draft coordinators? God, dog.
I would love Haley to come back. He mentioned that he's
You want
still
me to call him up?
Yeah, that'd be pretty dope.
All right, I'll call him up, bro.
I mean, he mentioned he's like, I still think Ben has something. So
he did say that. Yeah.
I can't really think of a better coordinator to bring back at this point because he did really help Ben in the offense when
I
was
talked to him, was that 2 weeks ago? I talked to him.
Yeah,
he still was, he likes it still. He still got the itch. He knows his stuff. He still believes that Ben can do a little bit too. He wasn't all the way there, but he still believed he can do it. He just felt like it was some other things that need to be addressed as well.
Yeah, let's draft the O-line. Draft the O-line,
man.
bring him back. Because I could talk about Peterson, but he's probably going to get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
What other OCs out there?
Bieniemy, he'll get a head coaching
that's what
job.
I mean. He's looking for head coaching. It's not like he's trying to go head coaching Chiefs to us.
Right.
I don't know who else is out there.
As you tap into the college vein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley already went to USC, and I don't think he's going from head coaching to OC in the NFL anyway.
Not at all.
That's what I'm saying. Haley makes sense.
He does, but it doesn't make sense because why did he leave?
You know what?
Why did he leave? It wasn't performance. It wasn't him.
How long ago?
Hey, I was about to say, yeah. So you talk to your boy.
Time can change things.
Being a guy that was there every day witnessing it, you talk to your boy. All right.
Maybe that's what he was soaking it all in down in KC, just being like, you know what? I had a good thing with Haley. That's what he was thinking about. That's what I think.
Because I was like, we never felt like Haley was incompetent. We didn't necessarily love the playing beyond the sticks. We ain't love it all the way. I mean, it was.
I didn't
cool.
like the screen passes, but sometimes they worked. I didn't. He was pretty frequent on those screen passes.
He would. But I just thought, like, as a whole, like, he was phenomenal. I loved him.
I did. I liked him.
But we also know, like I said, man, he ain't the reason why he is not here.
Hometown connections too.
It's one person. One person solely responsible.
When was that? That was
17. 17 was the last season. Yeah, my last year.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot of time. So they say time can heal all wounds.
Oh, I hope so. But I don't believe it. That's all.
Has that ever happened? Oh yeah, we talked about that before. It was LeBeau.
Uh-huh.
LeBeau. So it has happened. It's not out of question.
Yeah. I think LeBeau's temperament's a little bit different than Haley's though.
LeBeau is very chill.
Yes.
Because you know what? I watched that Harrison documentary yesterday. Did you see it?
I did not.
You'd really like it. But LeBeau's on there.
Yeah.
And you could just see how chill his demeanor is whenever he's
LeBeau,
interviewed.
man.
It's cool. It's weird and cool at the same time.
LeBeau is that guy, man.
Dude, for me,
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing Palomalu doing the interviews. Brett Kiesel. Ben's on there. Who else?
Peasy's up there.
Yeah, Peasy was up there. It's like, bro, this is getting weird now. Because I remember as a kid watching old Steelers docs, it'd be like Lambert or Blunt.
Talking about those guys.
It's like, these guys look so old to me as a kid doing these interviews. This was so long ago. Now I'm seeing the big documentaries. And I'm seeing Palomalu with the gray hair. I'm like, bro.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It was really cool.
When I start seeing Cam Hayward with his gray,
he was in there.
That's throwing me off. When I see him, I'm like, bro, Cam, when I got here, you were young. You were just second year. Like, you ain't had no gray. I ain't have any gray. No, you got gray. I got a couple grays. Like, what is going on? Ryan Clark's the other guy. When I see his grays, it throws me off. I'm like, oh, man.
You know what it was for me? It was 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was around 3 years ago. It was the Packers opening night. Of the season against the Bears, and Rodgers did a post-game interview, and I saw the gray on his beard. I was like,
this
wait,
is nuts,
damn,
man.
are we getting that old now?
This is nuts, bro. They got grays. It's nuts. All right. I gotta hurry this up too, man. It started 10:49. All right, gotta get to these phone lines. Got Litzberg 7. He says all these fake fans saying lose out for draft. Shaking my head. Yeah, I agree, man. We won't need to lose out for the draft. Just keep playing how we playing. We'll make it work. It'll happen organically. We'll be good, man. We'll be good. All right, Roger Peavy. Roger Peavy says get these guys out my locker room, including the coordinators. I want a top 10 pick, and we need to spend in free agency. Parentheses. Ben. Gotta go, Deke. Whew. I like it, Roger. Sometimes you gotta get it off your chest, Roger. And we are here for you to express everything you need to express. It's all good, man. It's all good.
I think if anything, this has been an easy day for me. There hasn't been too much backlash coming at me.
Hey, we
if that's the worst of it.
Listen. We're driving this bus. Watch out for that pothole there. Get back over here. That's how I feel like right now, man. We're good. It's good. I got us, all right? We're going to make this thing work, all right? Because I want you to come back again next time. You know what I mean?
Bro, you know I don't care. I mean, people could rip me as much as they want. I mean, my take didn't come through this week.
No. But the only reason I say it is because sometimes, man, people will focus on that solely and make that what this whole game was about, and that's not the case.
I think they're on the coordinators right now, though.
Yes,
I think everyone's
definitely
pivoted.
They definitely are. All right, Rich Rasmussen, he says, we may have a lot of needs, but we need to go full investment in the trenches this offseason. Now, that's something that I definitely would agree with. And not just on offense. I do think defensively, we need to assess.
If we're not going to get to it,
if we're not getting to it, we need to definitely address the depth. We definitely need to address that position because
Cam's old now, too.
Yeah, you can't keep playing that. What if Cam retires in a year or two, right? Not saying that he will, but if he did, what would we be looking at right now?
Or even with his age, just takes a little bit of a decline. This might be his career year, which is crazy.
Those are the things that we have to improve upon because there is starting to it's showing up that these younger guys, these depth pieces that I like as depth guys, your Mondos, your Loudermilks at this stage, right?
Loudermilk could become something, I think.
At this stage, though, even Wormley at this stage, it's like, yo, I love them as depth pieces. Montravis, I love them as a depth piece. I just don't like them when they're having to play as many snaps because now their shortcomings become more prevalent. Their shortcomings, you can take advantage of them. You can scheme those things. And it's not necessarily their problem, but it's just we don't have the players that are healthy right now. Obviously, with Tyson going down, obviously with Tua in this situation, we're just stuck. But that's something that we definitely got to improve upon,
Wormley was out for this game.
Yeah, we definitely got to improve upon that, man. All right.
I'm gonna let's go, UW. You anyone close?
Yep, we're there. You're caught up. You're good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So is it right? Yeah.
Is it just me, or has Ray's return game gone down this year?
Ooh.
It just seemed like all last year he was close to breaking one for a touchdown. I just haven't felt he's close to breaking one this year. So that is a difference between last year and this year for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's necessarily declined. I just think that he hasn't had that one breakaway. Yeah, I would say that, but I still feel like he's returning well. He's obviously maintaining possession, which is the most important part. Yeah. But yeah, that's the biggest thing he's lacking right now. Excuse me.
So I'm at Cliff the Dark Knight. It might have jumped on me again.
Yeah, it did. All right, so I got Let's Go UW again. He says, also, in terms of potential next quarterback, we still might be able to steal Lamar Jackson in free agency. I don't see how.
What?
No, because people are trying to say that the Ravens should stick with Tyler Huntley instead of going back with Lamar. They feel like Huntley can do exactly what Lamar can do.
So they wouldn't give Lamar the extension.
Exactly. I was like, yeah, and if you do that, you need to fire the whole organization, bro.
Worst case, they would sign him then trade him because you wouldn't let him go for nothing.
Not at all, yeah.
But no, I don't think they're moving on from Lamar. If anything, they're trading Huntley.
Like, what? Yeah, heck yeah. Now Huntley, nah, I don't know.
Well, we talked about that, right?
We definitely talked. But
people
size. Like they really are buying into the Huntley thing. I need to see more of it. We didn't even get to see it this week because obviously he was on the COVID list.
No.
So yeah. All right. L_D Carter says Kendrick Green has been getting bullied all week. Teams get happy to see him. I went D3. I know I would. He even got bullied on the knee we took last week to win. LOL.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Yeah. Kendrick be getting in some bad positions sometimes, bro. That's the big part. Because I tell you about the play last week where I forgot what happened. Oh, the play where Ben gets hit on the run play, and we're like, "Yo, Trey turns around,"
Trey,
and we're like, "Bro, Boy, did you watch Grade? And Kendrick is like, arms in the air, feet in the air, like, yo. It's like, it's not a good look. I'm like, I can't even get on Trey for missing the block.
Like that's
when
almost
I'm looking at Kendrick, bro.
That's almost like me playing offensive line, right?
Seriously, bro. And I'm laughing, but it's not funny, if that makes sense. Because it's serious, like, bro, you're a professional. You don't want to look like that. And I understand as a younger player, you're going to have bad plays. Trust me. I got bad plays. We all got bad plays. Nobody's above reproach. I promise you that. Everybody, even the Hall of Famers, we all got bad plays. But it's just certain, like, you just don't want to look like that. You know what I mean? Like, and it happens a lot. And that's
looks
the
like
thing.
you haven't played football.
Yeah, he's just like a little kid out there. And I'm just like, dang, dude, like, whew. Yeah. All right. Whew. Roger Peavy. Because the other thing is, do you put Kendrick at guard? Do you think that would be better for him?
Well, maybe you could do that next year.
But the thing is,
you're not doing that this year.
But the thing is with Kendrick, what is the...
Oh, yeah. What would you put? You'd put JC at center.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Guard. If Trey Turner can't go.
Right.
If Dotson's healthy.
I want Dotson over
him.
him. Dotson has more size, more physicality. Because Kendrick just seems small. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like effort is in question. It's not even like technique and fundamentals. I do think at times his hand placement is good. I just think at times he's overmatched. And that's part of the thing where I'm like, even if you're at guard, the only difference, you don't have to worry about the snap. Now, will that benefit you? I'm sure it would, but at the same time, you're still a little smaller guy. You're undersized. I mean, that's the part of it. When you're an undersized player, you have to figure out how to close that gap. No different than Debo. I had to do it. I mean, a ton of the guys you're good enough to play here, but you're not necessarily the size that we would want, but this is what you're best at. You got to figure out how to close that gap. That's something that he's going to have to learn. He's going to have to make that adjustment. You would hope that he could have made it during the season a lot faster just based on the amount of reps that he's gotten, but not everybody develops like that, and that is the reality of it. So I will say this offseason for him, he's going to need to figure out some tricks of the trade. Prime example, I think of Al Villanueva, right? Al could not stop a bull rush to save his life. He played high. He was light. For that position, that's not a good thing, right? Left tackle. What did he understand? What did he learn? I'm going to start chopping your hands down. I know I can dance with you, but I can't stop your bull rush. So my response to your bull rush is when you put your hands to bull rush me, I'm going to smack your hands and it's going to make you fall. I talked about that story of how, man, me, Debo, but we all like, bro, this is crazy. And Tunch is the one who taught him that. That's something that for Kendrick, not saying that it would be the exact same move, but you need to find a counter. You need to find something that can protect you against what they identify as your weakness. You know what I mean? Like once you identify that, you get nice with that skill and that will change you right now because you're not going to grow 6 inches overnight. You're not going to get crazy strong overnight. That's just not happening at this stage. You are who you are. You can make little jumps, but you're not going to have this drastic growth spurt, this drastic improvement. But that's what you can improve upon. You can figure out, okay, if I watch all these plays and this is where I get messed up at, all right, this is how I can change that. This is what I can do to change that. That's what you got to do. But that's the professionalism part. That's the part where we say, hey, you want to know why the league shelf life is 2.5, 3 years? Not everybody can make them adjustments. Not everybody wants to make them adjustments because it's not easy. It's very humbling. And you're going to have some very, very rough days in practice figuring that thing out. But once you get it, now you got that chance. Now you can really go out there and make a successful career out of this thing. So KG, hopefully,
well said.
He can figure that thing out, man. All right, we got 3 left, and then we'll hit these phone lines. Roger Peavy, he says, I say we trade Claypool. Ooh. Better early than late. He ain't never gonna be it. We can get some picks for him to reload the roster.
I don't think that's the take that's needed after yesterday.
Do you?
Or just even the last 2 weeks. Claypool ain't messing around here. Well, I think he's extremely talented still.
I do agree he's extremely talented. Do you think he'll be a franchise receiver one day? Because I know before this whole new tweet and change in mentality, that was I don't know if he's ever going to be maybe just an elite number 2. How do you feel about that?
Right.
Because if you feel like he's an elite number 2, but other teams might view him as a 1, then you could move him to get the assets for him. But if you think that he has the potential to be a 1, then you just go ahead and keep him.
Yeah. I think you keep him. I think he still has that potential. Hasn't lived up to it this season. Mm-hmm. Is there something about receivers that 2nd to 3rd year jump sometimes? Is that out there?
First to 2nd year jump.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Next, it's talking about that 5th to 6th year jump, bro.
That 4th year jump.
You know that 4th year jump real, man.
That 5th year jump for receivers is different.
You know that 2nd to 3rd year jump. You know that jump. Like, bro, wait a minute.
There might be something to that. There might be something.
I've heard some of these jumps, but wait a minute, I ain't heard that jump before. Deke. God, no, you make it.
I still think it's there.
Okay.
He hasn't lived up to it this season, and that's what's been frustrating with his season thus far. Because I really did. I thought he was going to hit like 1,400 yards, double-digit touchdowns. I think it's still there. So give him another year. Because I don't.
Now, would you be saying this? Would you be saying this if Chase was a different name on the Browns or the Ravens? Would you still feel as optimistic about him?
Who's a good comp?
What if we said T. Higgins?
T. Higgins? No, you keep Higgins.
You keep him.
Especially he had a really good game yesterday. But
true.
No, you keep T. Higgins.
Okay. Do you feel like Chase has played as consistent as T. Higgins did?
This year, I haven't seen them game to game. I think Higgins has probably had the better season. Actually, he definitely has had the better season.
Because I just think to myself, like, if I'm Cincinnati right now, like, I think it's still Jamar Chase. I would probably still go Tyler Boyd, and then I would go Higgins, I think.
Dude, Higgins has had a really good year. They have a good trio.
Yeah, they do.
Because Chase has definitely had some problems with drops.
Yeah, but all three of them dudes have been balling. All right. I'm trying to think of somebody else that a lot of potential. But
so what's the capital coming back for Claypool? Are you saying second round or a first round?
It would just depend on what the team viewed him as. Because like I said, if we don't view him as a first, but another team does, then obviously you would get a 1 in return for him. Or I think you, at bare minimum, a 2. I think you have to get a 2 for him.
See,
just because his
that.
age and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
that.
But
I would want 1.
I would rather have Claypool than a first round pick this year coming up. Because if you're going to spend it on a receiver, I'd just rather have Claypool. Okay. I think he's proven enough these first 2 years, and he still has that untapped potential. Okay. I just take him.
Okay.
Because you could hit and miss on receivers in the draft. We've seen it before. I think they're a little bit more common to be successful, though. That's what it feels like as opposed to quarterback.
Yeah, especially when you get them early. The early ones, they have shown that they could ball out.
Yeah, so I'd rather just stick with Claypool, though, right now. I get what people are saying. I feel like that was more of a realistic shot if Claypool kept acting up, but...
Well, because my thing is, even though he's not acting up, has it equated to more productivity? And that's my only thing. It's like I get maturity-wise, he looked like he's shown some stuff. And obviously, the time is going to show way more than these 2 games and some social media posts, right? But when I think of just the productivity part of it, well, you're at 2 years. So are you waiting for that 3rd year? And now does that 3rd year become you're waiting for that 4th year? And then at what point do we say, all right, you're not catching enough of these 50-50 balls, or you're not doing enough of this? Some of the things that we say we chalk it up as inconsistency, when does that inconsistency become the reality?
Right.
And that's the part where, same as the conversation we had with Kendrick Green and others, is like, man, now some guys is more defined. Like Kendrick Green, I think his is more defined than Chase right now. Chase, I do feel like he's at that cross where he could blossom into this elite receiver, or he could just be a guy. Right. But it's like, you said you would take that chance. Everybody is different. And that's the part where it's like, if you don't necessarily believe it or you don't want to take that chance, then you move him now while his market is high. Because if you wait 2 years and you realize, okay, he's not that guy, well, not just you, everybody else realizes it as well. Now you don't have that type of market.
Right. He can still be valuable if he's not a wide receiver 1, but we do need that at some point on this team.
Yeah. I would agree, man.
Deontay, he's been the best receiver this season, but does he have that cap on him where he's ever going to be a wide receiver 1? Because even Ryan Clark brought it up on Twitter. I see him more as like Santonio Holmes as opposed to AB. Mm-hmm. And Santonio Holmes, awesome receiver for that 3-4 stretch of years with the Steelers. But long term, I just don't know if he's ever going to be that bona fide wide receiver 1 that we saw with AB and that you see with countless other receivers throughout the league.
Yeah. I would agree, man.
I hope so. I hope I'm wrong on that. I don't see it. I do see him more as Santonio Holmes. Maybe
it's still a good, like, it's not like a knock
awesome.
either. Like, and that's the thing, right? When you're talking Santonio versus AB, it's just one is a great player, one is a generational player. You know what I mean? Like AB
could have been top 3 of all time if he didn't
exactly
go off the wayside. You know?
That's the conversation. Whereas with Tone, it's like Tone Super Bowl MVP. Tone is a beast in his own right, but it's just different. You know what I mean? And that's the thing.
A couple Pro Bowls, 3 or 4 Pro Bowls, whatever it is. Really good career.
Heck of a career, yeah.
The difference between Deontay and Holmes will be what do you do in the playoffs? Because that does count for something.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, Holmes.
Absolutely. But Deontay, he hopefully will get another opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the other part with him.
Yeah, he's still young, for sure.
All right, we got these 2 more, and then after that, we got to hit these phone lines because it's 11:04, and I do have another show I got to get to today. I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I hate these streets.
Cliff the Dark Knight, am I right? Or He the last one?
He's the last one, but I'm one in front of you. And I'm glad because Juicebox32 says it's 400 plus people in the chat. Actually, it's 500 plus people in the chat, Juicebox. And he says barely more than 100 likes. He's very accurate. It's only 145 likes, I believe. He says, smash that like button. All caps.
I didn't even hit the like button this time.
Yeah, you gotta hit the like button.
I just did.
He says, it all starts in the trenches, folks. O-line and D-line need immediate help. This is true, but unfortunately, I do not think that immediate help is coming for them this season. It's just, the nature of this current situation, man.
Yeah, we let it play out this far.
But I will say this, while people are getting ready to like, because you got to get your likes up, because that's what you do for the YouTube, that's what you do for the culture, that's what you do for the show, because I know y'all like the show, and we like y'all, okay? While you're doing your likes, I'm going to read this last chat, and then after that, we're going to pay a bill. And then we'll hit these phone lines, and then we'll get up out of here.
Works for me.
So Cliff the Dark Knight says, Mike Kafka, the Kansas City Chiefs QB coach and passing game coordinator, could be our new offensive coordinator. Mahomes has balled under him.
Sure.
Yeah. I remember Mike Kafka too, man. Yeah, he was all right. He was a guy.
You see Kellen Moore with the Cowboys having some success. He's kind of in that vein of like good college quarterback, didn't really make it in the pros, but then became a coach at a young age. So sure, whatever. I'd take him over Canada.
Sometimes, when you talk about those type of guys, your Kellen Moores, your Mike Kafka, guys that played in the league, weren't necessarily like elite, but still played. Sometimes those guys make better coaches because they
Reich.
Right. They have to understand it. They have to do all the little nuances and stuff. I know for me, that was one of the things.
Even Doug Peterson too. Yeah. I think he was in the league for a little bit.
Yeah, he was. That's one of the things for me where it's like, I see it a lot more now on this side versus like when I was playing. Because when you're playing, you don't think of why you study so much. You don't think of why you're so focused on the little things. But then you're like, well, because I ain't 6'4", 260. Dang it, that's why. But then you get this just crazy understanding of the game of football, and that's, with Mike and with some of these other guys that we've talked about, like that's very real, man. So yeah, I can see that. Or we can get your boy B Leftwich, man. Nah, he got to get a head.
I'm not opposed to that.
He about to get a head coach.
Bro. It might be Jacksonville.
He about
the homecoming.
That'd be dope though, low key. But he about to get that. Yeah, he gonna get that. Maybe we'll call it Charlie Batch, man. Former quarterback.
I think he likes his media stuff.
I think he does as well. I definitely think he does.
Because he definitely would be a good. He was borderline QB coach when he was the backup. I was gonna say, as an offensive coordinator, he'd probably be pretty good.
I would agree, man. I definitely would agree.
I saw he was upset with the flea flicker, so we agree on that.
It's hard not to be with that play, man. That was
terrible.
It's hard not to be. All right. So with that being said, let's pay a bill real quick because as y'all can see my hat today, man, it is by N to the AM. We had to go with that smooth, sleek look. This low key, like this your look right here.
I know.
This is your look, bro.
I know.
This is your look, bro.
It's a good hat, man. I've worn it multiple times.
I will say this, man. It is very comfy. It's very breathable too. You can see the mesh on the backside of it, man. Keeps the hat nice and smooth. But more importantly, we got promo codes, ladies and gentlemen. So if you use the promo code Moats 10, all right, Moats with the number 10, you will receive 10% off of your purchases at Into the AM. Website is right there, intotheam.com. But man, it's awesome, man. The graphic tees they have, the basic t-shirts that they have. Obviously, me and Deke always talk about our contrast and style. I'm more of the graphic t-shirt guy. Deke's more the basic t-shirt guy.
Yep.
But the beauty with Into the AM is they have packages where you can get monthly subscriptions where they send you their freshest, newest color schemes, whether you want the basics or if you want the graphics, all for really nice pricing. And like I said, you can use that promo code that's right there on the screen to add to the pricing discount with that as well. So big time shout out to the homies at Into the AM. All righty.
Thank you for sponsoring the show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's get back to these phone lines. What?
And we'll wrap it up.
Heck yeah. So
what
this
time?
Is perfect.
We're at 11:08.
All right. Well, let's give them the 20 worst case.
All right, 20. So we could probably.
And 20 a little iffy, actually.
18.
Like 18, yeah.
17. 18. I was going to say, maybe we could dial down our response to the calls.
That's
and
what
just try to go like rapid fire so we could get as much as possible.
That sounds like a good plan. Sounds like a real good plan. All righty. All righty. All right, let's see.
The lines are live.
Oh, lines are high. All right, let's see who we got first, man.
Yo, Moats, Deke. This is G. Alexander calling from Richmond, Virginia today. Well, my TV's broke. I hit that joint right down the middle with a fastball right down the middle in the strike zone with my cell phone. Because they took the game off the air because we were playing so horrible. Mine with the stupid mistakes. Did bad play calling. The missed tackles. Yo, I had no expectation for winning or losing this game. You know, I was riding on us winning the last 2 games, but this is just horrendous. Yo, it got to get it together. Even if we win the last 2 games, we still need help. But what's going to look like if we make it to the playoffs with a top-tier team? Yo, this is, I don't mind losing, but a lackluster effort just gets my blood boiling. And Matt Canada with some of these play calls. Come on, man. You bumped your head. Why are you going to be going for it on 4th down? You want to run play to the outside or do any reverse. They pinning their ears back, dude. Come on. Pass it down the middle or run up the gut. We see it's working. Run up the gut and bounce it outside after that. Come on, man. We got to do better than that. Expect a better effort. Once again, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey, Moats, you think you can hook a brother up with a TV and someone to mount that joint on the wall for Christmas? Peace.
Hey, that boy funny, man.
Staple call.
Hey, man. Say Kiki fix the TV. Hey, and shout out to G. Alexander, too. He did call the hotline on Christmas to wish me and you a Merry Christmas, by
thanks,
the way.
Bro.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that out there. Shout out to G. That's crazy.
So they took the game off the air.
I did hear that, yeah, because me and my wife, trying to think. No,
and he got pissed and broke his TV.
Yeah, because I did hear that they took the game off. I don't know why ours never came off. We were good, but I did see that. I was hearing that
really,
yeah, and they said they put it to the Raiders game.
Wait, this was even local.
Yeah, I don't know if
maybe
it was local,
wasn't
maybe
here.
it was social media.
Maybe
yeah.
it was
maybe
a
that's what
bunch
it was.
of the other spots that
yeah,
got it.
Because
I
I was like, I
Pittsburgh.
definitely we didn't have any issues.
No.
But we are in market as well.
Yeah.
All right. Who else is getting it off their chest? Let's go.
Yo, what's happening? It's Deke Shazier tuning in from Thousand Oaks, California. My winter break. Very disappointed. It's still the 4th quarter. You know, at this point, I just want Coach Tomlin to just get one more win. So we have that's all I care about right now. If we somehow get into the playoffs as a byproduct, I don't think we're gonna make any noise in the playoffs. You know, honestly, I feel like just getting in the playoffs is just gonna up Ben's record, or just the stat of just going to the playoffs and stuff, and it's just gonna hurt our draft position at this point. We're not gonna do anything. Our defense is in shambles right now. It's not looking good. Man, this is just embarrassing. Like the Browns. This is uncalled for. Alrighty, I just want that one win, man. On to the next week. I'll see you guys.
Depressing calls.
That's pretty tough right there.
Rightfully so.
I would agree. And I did see Jaga, the Brobarian. He called as well. I forgot to say that. I did see him put that in the chat. So yes, I got you.
Way to good Christmas.
I got you. All right, let's see who we got.
This is Juan from Las Vegas, Nevada. Last name Ranko. I'm just calling after this murder. And, since this is where you call in and say how you feel about things, man, Deke, I got a bone to pick with you, man. I'm over here thinking, that your debate that you made, the Big Ben was much better than Patrick Mahomes. I believe that. I bought into it. You ordered the pack early and everything. Bro, you jinxed us. I blame this whole thing on Deke. There's no other way around it. He jinxed Big Ben. It sucks seeing that Mason was the one that had to come out and finish the game too, and thankfully that last touchdown won my fantasy game. But you know what? It is what it is. And at least we're not out of the playoffs yet. I mean, we win the next 2 games, we can possibly go into the wild card. So let's see what happens. Let's go Steelers.
Fair enough.
So I'm getting blamed. He doesn't want any more pre-order packs.
Hey, well, last time you got overzealous about Boz and you said he was going to miss. Oh, I was joking. He missed. And now he's been missing ever since. Just think about that, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else have I done? I brought the 27-13 back.
Yep.
I think that needs to be officially done.
See, you never did the
It was a
Mohawks,
good run.
so you didn't cut the Mohawks, so we lost in L.A., you know?
It was like Napoleon, you know, that history, wherever
Wow.
France banishes him, then he
See?
like comes back, but it's only for like a short stint. I think that's what my 27-13 was. It was a great run, like the peak of it, 11-0, awesome.
Yeah.
But then led to our demise.
Wow.
Browns wildcard game. I said no, I'm done with it. I couldn't keep it away though. Brought it back. Had some power. Had some power in the Titans game, but then
Yeah.
it has a good record still though. What's
It
it like
does.
12-3 or something? 12-2.
Yeah, man. You know, you hopped off at the right time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I should probably end it.
Yeah. All right. So we got like a couple more before we get up out of here. It's 11:15. Let's get it. Get it off your chest.
Moats, Deke, Michael, Patrick, McCracken.
There he is.
Needless to say, another complete embarrassment. I think that it would be interesting if they ever did some kind of a show where you got to see the inside workings of what was happening in the locker room this year, because I guarantee you there are deep problems in this team. There are some giant chemistry issues. I mean, it's got to be locker room related. There's people that just don't care, don't try. It's kind of just a weird thing. It would not be shocking to find out that, you know, the whole team is completely against Chase Claypool or completely against certain players on this team, to know that it's just breaking down from the inside out. Because this team, it's just clear that they are just not together. This team is not together. Either the players hate the coaches hate the players, or they all hate each other, but something's wrong. And it is hard to watch. Complete embarrassment. I mean, I've really just given up hope on this team this year. So, all right, man. See you later, fellas. Bye.
Well,
In case I didn't say it, Michael, Patrick, McCracken.
We did talk about that a little bit, about Tomlin losing the locker room. What could be some reasonings as to why there's dysfunction, whether it's coordinators, whether it's personnel decisions. Something does look off. I mean, I do think there is a point to what he's saying there.
No, I definitely would agree with that, man. I definitely would. He always comes with the heat too, man.
Yeah.
All right. This will be the last one, and then after that we will roll and put this to rest.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Hey, Steelers, this is Bro Barry, and also known as Yauga. Just want to say that I am sad at the performance, but I still remember Deke and Moats talking about how, well, you guys will listen to me and say you guys, we're talking about how if we go 2-2, we still got a good chance. I believe that too. I kind of expected us to lose, but not like that, you know what I'm saying? So what I saw today was, I would definitely say continuity with the offense and what they're trying to do, but we missed a lot of players that really make up for certain mistakes. It's hard to watch us go through that. It's hard to see Ben and his frustration. I feel bad for him, especially when that one pass that went up for an interception. He said it looks like the ball just slipped away from his hands when he threw it. It's hard watching our young guys go through this and looking sad on the sidelines, but on the top of that, I think this is going to help build a team that's going to be in the future very, very strong. And they're going to remember these days, these dark days, these situations we have to climb the mountain, so to speak. We've been through here before. We've seen our Steelers freaking do some crazy stuff. So I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to understand how much we need to go through stuff like this, growing pains, like we said earlier in the year. So let's see what happens. Go Steelers. Go upper room. You guys stay cool. Y'all take care. And happy post-Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
Is that the best call to end on there?
That felt like the good one to end on right there. That felt about right. That felt about right.
Leave us with some optimism.
Made us feel better about ourselves at least. Sheesh. Shout out though, man. What a day. So with that being said, man, we are going to do this on a high note like we always do, man. Let's see. Any more chats? I don't see any over this way, and that's perfect timing because like I said, it's 11:18. So yeah. Hope everybody enjoyed their Christmas. I hope everybody has been enjoying their holidays. Staying safe, not working too much. Hope everybody can recover from yesterday's, festivities. And we will do this again later this week. Let's see. Off the top of my head, I will find out about Banner because obviously he's still on the COVID list. So we got to see health-wise what he's looking like for tomorrow. I'll make an announcement though at some time tonight in the community page to let us know. But worst case, we definitely know we got the show on Wednesday, man. We'll be right back in the saddle, man, chopping it up, having fun as we have a little fun previewing, man.
You got another game on me too. I'm only 4 games up.
Hey, man,
picks.
one at a time, baby. One at a time. One at a time. Just one at a time. I got 2 weeks left. One at a time.
Oh no, we said we'll do playoffs, right?
Oh yeah, we did say that. Yeah, you're right.
All the
You're
way
right.
up to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. So we got some time. But yeah, slowly chipping away. But anywho, shout out to everybody that was with us this morning. We definitely appreciate y'all. Hope that we have helped y'all, uplift y'all spirits as well. But either way, until next time, baby.
Peace.